All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Hello. Happy Monday, everybody.
What is happening?
Busy little weekend.
Yeah, busy little weekend. You survived the 40th?
I did.
Yeah, everything went okay?
Yeah.
Went according to plan?
She left us.
She left. She's gone.
She went lawyer Jurassic Park.
I'm out of here. I'll see you later.
I'm going to go do what I want. See you guys later. Like, all right.
Okay, you do what you want. What am I going to say? It's your birthday.
I don't know.
Hey, what about us? Hey,
what am I going to say? It's her birthday.
Hey. All right,
Not
kids.
mine.
We're on our own today. What do you guys want to do?
I don't know what I'm going to do for my 40th. I'm going to throw a big party. I don't know.
You don't want a big surprise party for your 40th birthday?
Well, she detests,
yeah.
I don't know where it comes from. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the attention on her. She forever, since I've known her, has she absolutely despises surprise situations.
Being the center of attention and a lot of people there out of nowhere and you're not prepared for it.
Yeah. So that was never going to be in the cards.
No.
And then she also doesn't want 1 million people around. And then it morphed into, I'm going to go explore by myself. And we're like,
okay.
All right.
All right.
I didn't push back. I didn't say anything. I just let her have her birthday. Whatever she wanted to go do, I was down to go do.
Now, did she go explore literally by herself, or did she explore with the sisters? Was anybody there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her sister, her and her.
That makes me feel a little bit better. I think if you're going out on an excursion, I'm gone. Taking out the car and you don't see her for 8 hours.
Her and her
What'd
sister
you do?
went to get, both her sisters, but one of them, they share a birthday exactly a year apart.
Okay.
Which is a crazy thing to me still.
That is pretty wild. That is such a quick turnaround.
That's
as somebody who's going through the phase of number 2, by God, I can't imagine.
That was as soon
Whose idea was that?
Well, I think as soon as they got eligibility, they tried.
Let's get them out. Get them out. Get them out now. Get them out now. Pop up.
That's how I'd phrase that the best I can.
That makes sense. A little bit of a different life situation.
But they went out and about, and they went garage sale, estate shopping, and just hung out at my brother-in-law's house for 4 hours. And I was like, all right. And then we went and got dinner, and that was kind of it.
World Cup on TV. What else are we watching? Let's hang out. We got nothing to do today, buddy.
Played FIFA.
Hey, there you go.
I played MLB The Show.
Boop, boop, boop. Little video game Saturday for you?
I played some video games with my nephew.
Okay, that's always a fun thing to do.
He absolutely worked me.
I mean, that's usually how it goes. The kids are much more in tune with those kind of things.
I will say, I got kind of addicted to the Home Run Derby feature on MLB The Show. Have you ever played that game?
I have played MLB The Show, and Home Run Derby is quite enjoyable. Hitting bombs, hitting dangers.
Well, there's nothing funnier, too, than not being a video game guy and then playing video games with a child who does play video games.
He's into the vids.
And so we're doing Home Run Derby, and he wants to show me how to hit because he doesn't know that we're about to leave.
Right.
So he's like, you need to know how to hit before we play a game. And I'm like, okay. So he puts Home Run Derby on. He goes, let me pick my guy. And I'm like, okay, who's going to pick? Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. Prime? Ken Griffey Jr.?
He goes, yeah. Who else would I pick? And I was like, okay. And he goes, who do you want? I was like, Ronald Acuna Jr.
You went current player? You didn't go past player?
He goes,
you didn't want Babe Ruth?
He goes, who's that? I go,
what?
Go to the Braves.
All right.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep, right there. His name's Ronald. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He's won an MVP, and he's been pretty good for a while.
I just wanted to hit with Acuna. They're terrible right now. He's not playing, so.
Hey, yeah, welcome to San Francisco, buddy. The meat grinder that is Oracle Park.
You guys have beat us in 5 out of 6 games, and it's just driving me crazy.
We're terrible this year, but something about playing the Braves is our good luck charm, man.
We're abysmal right now.
Hey, we'll take any dubs we can get this time of year, all right? We desperately need them.
But he was cracking up because every pitch, the first 5 pitches, I would swing and I'd pull it foul.
You're way too early. You got to wait on it.
And that's when he started laughing, and he's like, you don't know you have to wait for the pitch. And I'm like, well, how would I know that? It looks like I'm hitting it on time.
I've never played this before. Give me a break here. Were you grooving him by the end of the Home Run Derby?
He beat me by 1.
Oh, that's not bad.
I got hot for a second
That's pretty respectable.
Yeah.
Also, I love the idea, because I've certainly been that kid. I was that kid playing FIFA way back in the day. Because FIFA is a super fun video game to play with multiple people.
It is.
You could do 2-on-2, and it's one of the rare video games in sports that you can have 4 people playing at the same time and still have a great time. But I was one of those people who played FIFA and had no idea about the players. You'd learn 3 or 4 names, and that's kind of it. I remember Drogba. Drogba was a very big deal. Drogba. Chelsea, he was massive and always hard to stop. But that idea of somebody playing a Major League Baseball video game and not knowing who Ronald Acuna Jr. is brings a smile to my face.
Well,
that's the epitome of the video game sports kid, because I certainly was that kid with some games. Of like, do you not care? Do you don't like the sport? You just play you just like playing the video game.
Well, he wants to go to a game. They're going to meet us in Anaheim. They're going to do Disney with us when we go on our vacation in August.
Go see an Angels game while you're down there?
Well, so I looked at the schedule because we'll be there on the 12th.
Yeah.
And then we're doing Disney on the 13th. And the schedule just so happened to line up where the Angels are hosting the Rangers.
Ooh, okay. Not a bad game.
I looked up he's a Dodger fan, by the way.
Okay.
Bandwagon Dodger fan, loves Ohtani. You know, all that.
I get it.
But Dodger Stadium's pretty far from where we're staying.
Right.
So I looked up the Angels schedule, and it's like $17 to get into the stadium.
A hair cheaper to go to an Angels game right now than it is a Dodger game.
So I told my brother-in-law this, and I think we're going to take him to an Angels game.
Be badass.
It'd be,
Have you ever been to that ballpark before?
I've been outside of the ballpark.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched a game in the ballpark.
Neither have I. I've heard it's nice, though, once you get inside of it.
It's nice.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
Is
Good
it still
reviews?
nice? I heard it was kind of run down and old now.
A little bit, but it's still got a nice look to it. Like it's still
Got the fountain and the aesthetics in the outfield.
Still got the aesthetics in the outfield.
Well, when I went to Disney as a child, we went one time. They had a model replica of what the Angel Stadium was going to look like that they were building.
Right.
So I had seen it like before from a model version of what it was, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's sweet!" They got the big helmets outside.
Right.
I thought
Rocks.
that was really cool. The rocks and the water. I was like, "That's awesome."
Right.
I was a child, and it's the same stadium. So
Yeah, a long time ago.
it's
It's their Moda Center. It's still nice to them, all right? Come on, man. I haven't been that long. Do we really need money
There's
for
not
it?
really a bad seat there to see the game. Like it's still a good stadium. It's just
Yeah.
well,
it's not what it
I
used
also
to be a
figure
little
you
bit.
buy literally any ticket, you walk around.
You're going to go
Oh,
where
sure.
you want to
Yeah.
go.
That stadium's empty.
They're not going to buy. I mean, you could eventually wiggle your way down to the 100 level.
If we go from, I think it's 400. They have a 400 section behind home plate.
Yeah.
To walk down to right field where there's thousands and thousands of tickets. I don't think anybody's going to stop us.
No, I don't think so.
So I think that's the approach.
You need to come together collectively, everybody in the 200 levels, and be like, all right, all at once, we all push our way down. They can't
Right.
stop all of us. Maybe one or two get picked off. There's going to be a few expected in the wreckage, but the rest of us, we're going to go flood these seats down low.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be cool. I'm also a sucker for a baseball stadium with a a natural exhibit, if you will. Like the idea of having a waterfall, I think is really cool in a
I
baseball
love that
stadium.
too. Yeah.
Like Kansas City's got their waterfall.
Yep.
The Rockies have like big, trees in their outfield surrounding their dugout.
The Diamondbacks have a pool.
Diamondbacks have a pool. Like I'm a big fan of something cool and unique that way. That you look out and there's like it just kind of brings a little tranquility to the game.
Was anything cool and unique about Eugene's outfield for the Savannah Bananas this weekend? 'Cause
Dude.
I watched that.
I forgot that was happening. We'll have to ask the brand man because I think he went.
He said he had
He
tickets.
did. He was there yesterday.
He was there yesterday. I remember when the tickets came out, him being like, I got to get tickets for my kids. So I'll be curious for a review. I haven't talked to anybody who's gone.
Did you watch it?
I did because I forgot that it was happening. And then I saw stuff on social media and I'm like, ooh, I just want to see. I need to see the aesthetics of this. Like, what is a baseball game in Autzen
It
Stadium?
was very odd looking, but
Yes.
cool.
Yes. I think that's kind of how all theirs are at football stadiums because there's no way to do it other than have like a 40-foot left field fence.
But isn't Autzen a little unique in the sense of like how much smaller it is than some of the SEC stadiums?
I mean, they're
they've
certainly
gone to?
bigger. I think the field area is all generally the same that they have to like work with. But in terms of stands, yeah, like you go to Tennessee or you go to LSU, or you're going to get a lot more people in the building for that. It was. I mean, I watched like an inning and a half of it, maybe 2 innings. And it just reminded me that I'm not a Savannah Banana guy. Like, no offense to anybody who is a Savannah Banana guy.
60,000 strong.
I mean, I can see why it's entertaining to be there in person.
Yeah.
Because but in terms of watching on television, it's just, it's not my cup of tea, baby. That doesn't have to be a disrespectful thing. But I watched two innings of it just to see what it looked like.
So I had a sweet spot because I thought the weekend was a lot of fun. The World Cup was going crazy.
It was.
I was watching that England match on Saturday, and my brother-in-law and I were talking, and he was like, what sucks is like when they get an opportunity to score and then they don't, and then you have to wait for the next opportunity. And they literally missed a shot.
Oh.
He looks down at his phone, and as he looks down, he misses the goal that England scores to go up 1-0. And I'm like, dude, this is what we were talking about.
You can't look away.
But the World Cup was going crazy, and then the Savannah Banana thing paired with the Travelers, which, by the way, we have a final playoff hole.
We do. I think starting
In
now.
progress
right now.
It just
Yeah,
started.
They're
Yeah,
on
right
the
now.
green,
Touche.
looking at birdie putts right
Oh,
now.
Both have
okay.
birdie putts?
All right, let's turn it on.
So you had the Travelers. I had the Portland Fire going to 4 overtimes, tying in a WNBA record.
Dude, that was wild.
Carla Late being as amazing as she was, all she's going to think about is that back rim go-ahead shot at the buzzer.
Shot was there for her.
So I had that. I had the Travelers. I had the Savannah Bananas. And, I had Canada and South Africa there until it ended with Canada winning.
Yes.
But
that was a little tense game for the Canadians yesterday.
It was.
They were on edge until the very end.
It was a great match. Came down to the very end.
Why were they not playing that game in Canada, by the way? Have they already moved? Like, is Canada already done hosting games?
I
don't
so,
know.
Yes.
Okay.
I think the knockout rounds are.
I figured
all
Canada would
US
go. Okay.
We got most of the matches.
Yeah.
Canada and Mexico barely got any.
Okay.
Right.
I was just surprised that was a pretty big game for Canada. I'm like, they should be playing on home soil right now. Maybe no. Okay. All right.
But once the Travelers went to the weather delay,
Yes.
and then now we have the playoff hole with Hovland and Scheffler. They both got birdie putts here. It looks like Scheffler's a little closer than Hovland's. Once they did that, I just did split screen with Fire and Savannah Bananas.
Getting your Savannah Banana on.
Dude, I watched quite a bit of it. Now, I have a full review on the Savannah Bananas.
Okay, what's your full review? Is that the first time you've ever watched the Savannah Bananas?
Ever, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen stuff.
You're
but
scrolling
like,
through or seeing a highlight, but never sat and actually watched anything?
I would imagine anybody that went is going to tell us today they had a lot of fun.
An absolute blast.
They had mid-game concerts with players singing. They had a random dance performance in sequence.
Usually how it goes. Music playing the entire game.
I can't tell what speed they're actually pitching, but it doesn't look like it's 80.
I would guess low 80s.
Oh, I was thinking like
You think it's
high
slower
60s.
than that? Oh, no. I think it's a little bit faster than that.
Is it?
I think so.
It just looks more softball-ish than it does.
I mean, it certainly is, but
right?
I think maybe
I might
you're
be wrong
right.
on this.
Let me Google. I'll see if I can find that.
for it, and I didn't see any MPHs, so I'm just trying to guess.
They don't show that at all for that reason.
Hovland nailed his birdie putt.
Look at that.
Here we go, Scotty.
Might be going to a second playoff
hole.
hole.
On the edge.
Dude, I'll give you a hot take. We should get an extra round, not a sudden death playoff hole.
The idea
Give me
of
9 at least.
waiting around for a Monday playoff and then it being over in 10 minutes is kind of funny.
It's hilarious.
Because if Scotty misses this putt, it's over.
over.
You build all that up for one playoff hole, and then it's like, all right, cool.
But I enjoyed the spectacle. I also was a little confused on how they're keeping track of points versus runs. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that, no.
They put points on their score bug. And
what
then
did we get points for?
I don't know.
Okay, it's
because the runs
confusing.
and points were kind of different. So I'm like, what's happening here?
All right, that's weird.
But I think most people that went will tell you it was a good time.
The tweet I saw from Tyson Alger that made me laugh because he went down to cover it, and so he was there. He was one of the few media members that I saw was there with kind of a reaction to it. And he said he felt like he was living in a TikTok video for a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's how it looked.
Like it's just this one big long TikTok, and everybody's TikToking, and then the game is over. And there's, I mean, for some people that's entertaining. For like the music, it's kind of like the when I turned it on, it reminded me of the vibe. Now, obviously, much different because you're not like picking off MLB players to go do it. It's like the live golf of baseball. It's like it's baseball but fun. We're playing music and doing tricks and everybody's relaxed. We got dances going on. It's a shotgun start. This is great. We got concerts. How about that?
The live golf of baseball.
I think it's the live golf of baseball.
But they're not poaching anybody.
I know they're not poaching anybody from an entertainment standpoint. That's
they care
how
about the entertainment.
Yeah,
more than
like
the
we
sport.
wear shorts and cut off sleeves and it's fun and everybody's wearing sunglasses and eye black and this is going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
It's just a little bit different in that regard. I could certainly see like if Teddy Ballgame. Oh, he missed it. Wow. Scotty. All that for nothing.
Boy,
huh?
he burned the edge on that one.
Made that par putt to send us to a playoff, and it's over just like that. All right.
What? Yeah, this is
It's a
really
big dub for the
just-
Norwegians, dude. Did you see the Norwegian fans
Oh,
there
they showed
yesterday?
out for they showed out for the whole
Victor?
tournament.
They were there, man.
Yeah.
Scotty made his putt. Everybody chanting USA, USA. He just missed a 5-footer for birdie. How about that?
Well, been there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I've actually missed the comeback par putt, too.
Very relatable, Scotty. Very relatable.
Burn it past about 5 feet, have a 5-foot par putt, miss it, bogey. Hey, that was great.
Yeah, Savannah Bananas, like if Teddy was 2 years older and somebody was like, hey, do you want to go? I could easily see that being a yes if they're back in town. But like for me,
Did
without...
you take him to a football game?
I did. I'm just saying, like, I could see him being into that. But for me personally, if I ever went, it would just be about let's take the kid to have a good time. Because I could see kids having a blast at that
I think
thing.
that was the only reason anybody went to that, right?
Is any adult into the Savannah
Oh.
Bananas by themselves?
I could see a couple, like, bros nothing going on
Having a good
Saturday.
time, yeah.
And they're like, dude, let's go get a couple drinks and we'll go down to Eugene. I mean, that's cool. That's a spectacle, right? Like seeing the football stadium.
The weather held off too. It didn't rain.
The weather was perfect for the event. Our weekend ended up being that wet, but
yeah, I got no complaints.
We had the downpour on Saturday, and we'll get to that because some poor sap got absolutely electrocuted this weekend.
That was wild.
I had friends golfing, and I only got an alert: golfer struck by lightning, and I was like, "Oh my God, are my friends dead?"
Text all the people you know.
And then it said West Lynn, and I went, I know what club that was.
I know where we're going there. A lot of walking, a lot of up and down.
A lot of up and down there. But I could see somebody just saying, I got nothing going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's get a couple pops, because just seeing Autzen Stadium as a baseball venue.
Right.
I mean, how many other people are wondering what their stadium looks like as a base? I don't feel like I've seen that since Candlestick.
No, that funky left field, like it's very weird and unique.
Yes.
And I also watched thinking to myself, how do you not score 15 runs in a game? That left field is like legitimately 150 feet. It's like shorter than a softball
I was
field.
wondering the same thing.
How are you not hitting home runs down the line the entire game if you're a right-handed hitter?
Well, when they kept hitting home runs.
It's like just a routine fly ball.
I don't know how many they ended up getting in the game, but when I saw the couple home runs, they would look like they hit up mid.
Yeah, they're hitting them almost
section,
out of the damn stadium. They're like almost at the top because you're hitting one and you're connecting with it. Now, Google AI is telling me they throw in the high 80s to low 90s, and I'm not buying that.
It just didn't look like
I'm
that.
going to downgrade them a little bit. That seems a little misleading, but I'll go low 80s. Low 80s is my guesstimate for Savannah Bananas.
Did they do a home run derby like pregame?
I don't know.
I'd imagine that'd be something that'd be kind of fun, right? Like, can we hit it out of Autzen Stadium?
That's actually a good question. I'd imagine there's some sort of batting practice involved. I also enjoyed the videos from Oregon's side of it because they're in the process, and I think Oregon State's doing the same thing where they're getting new turf this offseason.
We're doing turf.
And so I think they used, because they spray painted the infield on the football field.
Yeah.
That's how they got it, and I'm just assuming that they used the old turf to do it. And now they're going to rip it up and put the new turf in, and maybe they were waiting for the Bananas to come through. But it was kind of fun seeing the behind the scenes of how they made it all look.
When they go into some of these other stops on their tour, are like college coaches involved? Because I know Dan Lanning was in Japan, but
yes,
like,
he was not around.
Would have been kind of cool to see Dan Lanning go out there.
I think they try and do. There were some people there. Like I think I saw a video that they had DeAnthony Thomas there. Now I don't know if he got in the game, but sometimes when people come through, I've seen them have like famous people jump into the game and
that's
go
what
do,
I figured.
Like
they would
go
do,
doing
right?
an at bat. So I don't know if DeAnthony Thomas got into the game at all.
Yeah,
but they've done that in other markets where somebody around's been like, hey, let's get you out here, get you an at bat, come have some fun, see if you can get a hit, run to first base, maybe do a dance with the other infielders.
The live golf part is a good comp. I'd also say very similarly, it reminded me more of WWE.
Yes, it's very WWE.
They're obviously athletes.
Yes.
What they're doing, like, can you catch and do a backflip? I can't.
No, I can't do it.
Is it unnecessary? Also, yes.
Can I feel the ground ball between my legs and then flip it behind my back to first base? No, I cannot do that.
No, not in the way that they do that.
No.
But it's entertainment, so it's more about that than it is the sport itself. I just thought it was kind of a cool spectacle to see Autzen Stadium as a baseball stadium.
And I'd be curious to know, like, I bet if ESPN's putting those things on, I think the numbers on those are pretty decent in terms of a television rating.
It is.
Like, I'd
they
imagine
do really well on TV, and their attendance is sold out.
That's how I think there was a guy doing the head guy, whatever his name is, who walks around in the yellow tuxedo. He's like the guy, the starter, the CEO, whatever. I saw an interview of him talking about the specialty of being in Eugene, and I'm like, that's right, this is going on this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's why I made a point to watch, but it was fun, man.
The
Bananas are in town.
He's almost like the new age Dana White. To take the Savannah Bananas from what they were, which was like a gimmicky crotch,
yeah, dude,
thing in baseball a couple years back to
it's
what
unbelievable.
It is now on a tour.
One of the biggest success stories from a business startup that we've ever to cut through from a sports perspective. Think about that. Like, think about how long that alternative football league has been trying to break through and gain footing and sellouts. They can't do it.
They can't.
The UFL cannot sell out a
maybe
stadium.
they should just come up with wacky rules that the NFL can steal, let former players who know they're never going to the NFL again play, and then do Savannah Banana stuff.
Do dances at the halfway point of the first quarter. Everybody takes a brief timeout on the field and does the Macarena.
Yes.
All right, back to football.
You
Second
need to
and
do
9.
the replacement stance.
Or what about Remember the Titans? You could do that one too.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, people want to know
I mean, if you can do something like that, people show up and watch.
You in on that one?
I'm not in on it, but
that's
I
why
can
it's
understand
remarkable.
it.
Like thinking about the idea of starting another league and having people follow it and care. They sell out everywhere they go.
I think one of your worst takes is the Savannah Banana thing because it's not for you, but everybody is telling you it's for them.
It is for people.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of those people.
I totally get it.
I'm in a different tribe, but you do you, boo.
I watched it and I was like, I don't know if I enjoy watching this on television.
I couldn't do it on TV.
In person, I can see how this could be fun if you have kids.
Yeah, dude, taking your kids, music playing the whole time, catch some foul balls, watch them run around, good time.
Well, we're in on a Monday, and we still don't have Jaylen Brown as a Blazer.
No, but it's going to break any day, any moment now. On the show today. That's my hot take.
I was told yesterday it does feel like it. They told me yesterday, who I text, today or Monday. It feels like it's within a 48-hour little 48-hour window.
I think we're getting it during the show today.
That would be really kick-ass. We're going to talk with John Corrales coming up at 7 a.m. We'll dive fully into it. Blazer fans were interesting on social media this weekend.
My poll question started it all. I knew that was going to be a debate.
Yeah, and it raged into the weekend, so we'll revisit all of that. It's a loaded show. Thank you for being with us. Let's get it going. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan.
George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make if your grandma were from the Big Island. Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the Fan, your Portland Fire were in an instant classic yesterday against the Washington Mystics, the second game in WNBA history to go 4 overtimes. Unfortunately, the Fire came up short, losing 124-123. Carla Late with a career-high 32 points, tying the single-game franchise record. World Cup knockout rounds got underway yesterday in dramatic fashion. Canada scored 2 minutes in the second half stoppage time to edge South Africa 1-0 and advance to the round of 16 for the first time ever. 3 more round of 32 matches today. Brazil takes on Japan at 10. Germany faces Paraguay at 1:30, and Netherlands battles Morocco at 6. To the NBA, the Hornets are trading Miles Bridges, a future first-round pick and future second-round pick, to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a future first-round pick. Bridges averaged 17 points and nearly 6 rebounds per game for Charlotte last season. And in golf, after a rain-delayed final round at the Travelers Championship, Scottie Scheffler and Victor Hovland finished tied for the lead at 21 under. In the sudden death playoff this morning, Hovland made birdie on the first hole while Scheffler missed a short birdie putt to give Hovland the victory. I'm Brendan Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports.
Welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague here on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan. Good morning. Happy Monday. Hope your weekend was great. Playoff and the Travelers is over. It took just one hole. Victor Hovland nails his 9-foot birdie putt, and Scottie Scheffler misses his 5-footer. So we wake up early. We get playoff golf, one hole, over. See you later, 10 minutes.
Look at the bonus of waking up early on a Monday morning. All you grinders out there, you got to hear about the end of the Travelers Championship.
You're
Come
damn
on,
right.
baby.
The unofficial fifth major of golf.
That's what they call it, the red umbrella. I mean, it's iconic in golf. If you win it, crowds are actually pretty good, although some did get told yesterday they had a nasty rain delay, and the ushers and the people walking around the course said, go wait it out in your cars. That'll be safer. Only then to find out when play restarted, they tried to re-enter, and they told them, sorry, no re-entry into the tournament.
It's when it ends like that, it makes me think like a full round I get not wanting to do, but like what about playing 3 holes?
It should be a 3-hole playoff. If you're doing a Monday, I'm fine doing a 1-hole sudden death if you're finishing it on a Sunday.
Day of, yes.
Let's go right to the next hole. If you win the next hole, the tournament's over. I don't need 3 there, but if you're making me wait around, the idea of how long do you think those guys warmed up for this morning?
2 hours?
Because you're doing the same normal routine. Yes. You don't know how many playoff holes it's going to go, so you're up at the butt crack of dawn, hitting 100 balls on the range, rolling your putts in, stretching, cardio, working out, and over. See you later.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
God, the approach shot. Scotty's going to kick himself all day on that.
He stuffed it real close, man. By the way, a couple of our sources have chimed in on Banana Ball.
Oh, we got some Banana Ball reviews.
We got some Banana Ball sources. D'Anthony Thomas was used as a pinch runner in the game.
Okay, I must have missed that one.
I did not. I saw them do like a highlight thing for him, but I didn't see him get in the game. So he was used as a pinch runner.
Okay.
It has been said, where did it go? About the point system. God, where did it go?
The points versus run thing.
Yeah, basically they throw. Oh, here it is. You win each inning, so the runs add up to the actual score. You get a point for each inning that you win.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
so
okay, that makes sense.
You get that going with it.
Yeah.
Mike in Salem said, I went to Banana Ball yesterday. Surprisingly fun. 190 down the left field line was silly, but leaned into it, a UO thing, and it was a great time.
If you go in knowing, which, you do already going into it, but like you go in with the mentality like this is not real baseball. This is just
you're just you know what
fun.
You're getting into. Yeah.
You just want to be at Autzen Stadium and see a spectacle, and that's not shocking at all to hear that it was a great time.
A lot of people connecting it too. This is a great point that I shouldn't have missed on. It is. I mean, it's the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
That's a good one.
That's the more apt analogy. Yep. But are the Harlem Globetrotters still a thing?
They are.
They're still going around and touring?
Tour.
Okay.
Still throwing buckets of confetti, making you think it's water.
Oh, here it comes. Uh-oh. Oh, no, confetti.
That is a funny gimmick still because there's so many kids that don't know that it's not water.
Have not seen it before.
That when they do it, they still have the
no!
confetti.
Still hits all these years later.
So
it's like a great dad joke.
Yeah, I think, and when we see Brandman today, I think Brandman's going to tell us, you know what? Great time.
And it didn't rain. That was the only thing you were worried about.
Well, it never rains at Autzen Stadium.
That is very true. Although
known.
immediately after the game, I saw a tweet saying it is pouring at Autzen, so the timing could not have been any better.
There was moments, I think, all throughout our state where it dumped, man. Like, it rained hard.
Here it comes.
Also, the thunder and lightning as one golfer experienced.
Not good.
Very intense, loud.
This kind of weather this time of year puts my mind into a total blender. I don't know about you guys. My wife has like a fetish for fall and candles. And if you give her weather in the low 60s to upper 50s at times, like a little nip in the air, cloud cover, looks like an October day, I'm like walking around my house and all of a sudden there's candles burning in every room and there's like a pumpkin decor thing, screensaver on the TV. And, don't get me wrong, I'm a big holiday guy, but when you're walking around and it's almost July, it is an absolute mind bleep, if you know what I mean.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Why does it smell like pumpkins and vanilla right now?
What is
it's the 4th of July next week, man.
I don't know if you can answer this question for me.
Yeah.
What is it with vanilla and pumpkin
I don't
that
get it.
white women specifically love candles?
I think I will give you a take. Now, I'm anti-flavor vanilla.
Yeah.
The vanilla smell is one of the worst smells that you could have in a candle.
Oh, really?
She knows that I hate it. She knows that I'm anti-vanilla.
She can't help it, though.
She's a white woman. She's a white woman in her late to mid-30s, and you bet your ass she's lighting those vanilla candles on fire.
You should always state mid-30s. Don't add the late in
That's
there.
very true.
The
very
mid-30s,
true.
all right?
Yeah, you got a ways to go.
NBA trade chatter as we move on from white women and vanilla candles.
Yeah, what happened this weekend? We haven't traded anybody yet.
We have not traded anybody yet. We will refuse to trade anybody of any talent if
God
it requires us getting Jaylen Brown.
No, all our guys will turn into the greatest players of all time eventually.
We are right now on Kawhi Leonard watch. He might be traded back to the Toronto Raptors. That's the latest report. The Mavs are trying to jump into this, which actually I love the Mav fit. I think
you like the Mavs fit?
Dude, the Mav fit, Kawhi, Kyrie, Cooper Flag.
San Antonio's the scariest for me.
I haven't seen them involved in much.
I've seen Bobby Marks, I think, has alluded to that both of his former teams are interested in his services.
San Antonio would be a terrifying one.
That's the one that I'm like, no, Toronto, fine, you go there, you go anywhere else, just don't go to San Antonio.
I don't think maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't seem like he wants to do the San Antonio thing twice. The first time didn't end very well.
I didn't know what the relationship was like now. Has time healed the wounds there?
I think him and Pop are cool, but I think he's cool, but like not want to go back cool. You know what I mean? Toronto seems like the likely landing spot as of now based on the reporting. The Magic waived Jonathan Isaac.
Yes.
And it was so funny because Danny tweeted about him, and I went, oh, I know who wants this guy, as soon as it was reported, and he tweeted 5 minutes later.
Give me this guy.
And I was like, he said 12 to 18 minutes. I was like, Danny, is he going to play 18 games? You want him to play 12 to 18 minutes? I don't think he's going to play 18 games.
Well, we might need somebody to replace Robert Williams, and he carried that role pretty good for the last 3 or 4 years.
You're not wrong on that. The Hornets made another trade.
Yes, they did.
They traded Miles Bridges to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, a future first, which, man, that is such good dealing by Charlotte. Charlotte may be questionable to some because they traded LaMelo.
Yeah, they've had a nice little offseason here.
They have completely opened up their books. They haven't paid Miller yet, but he's close.
Right.
And you've acquired draft capital while leaving yourself available to potentially jump into the Jaylen Brown stuff if you so choose.
Yes.
Boston reportedly really likes Naz Reid. They have picks now. They might be lining themselves up. Detroit is obviously in this as well. But Charlotte very clearly saying, Knippel didn't play well in our play-in situation.
Don't overreact.
Don't care. Let him build off his great rookie season. And let's reset our culture a little bit. Let's get away from controversial Miles Bridges and his domestic violence.
Yeah, people who beat women, let's get them off of our roster.
Let's get away from, Snapchatting Instagram models while driving LaMelo Ball.
Running over fans outside of the arena. Not a good look.
Let's redo this a little bit, have our books more lined up, and we'll go from there. So really good business dealing. And then Hartenstein got a 3-year deal this week, in which kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Because they're approaching real high-end tax stuff, and I had just assumed they were going to lose Hartenstein.
They've traded a number of players to lower their tax bill in the last week or so.
So I just would have thought that wasn't going to happen, but a 3-year, $75 million deal. So quite the little busy weekend, not involving our Blazers in the association.
It was. The Hartenstein one is interesting because I agree with you from a financial standpoint. The tough part that they're in right now, and I think we can ask this question about ourselves a little bit. And granted, Klingon is a young player, but when San Antonio and OKC played in the playoffs, who was the more effective big against Wemby? Like, it's not even close.
The more effective. Oh, you mean Hartenstein?
Yeah. Yes, he outplayed one of your big three. You had to sit one of your big three down.
Yep.
Now we dealt with that same problem. Our guy's also only in the second year of his career, so we'll see how his offseason goes and if he does end up getting dealt or not. But in that series, we all know who was the more fit. Robert Williams was the better big in that series, and he outplayed our young guy. And so there's a tough idea of you just lost to them in 7 games. You didn't defend your title because you couldn't get through San Antonio. And if that guy's not going anywhere, you need to have a big who can handle that. And there's no indicator that Chet's going to be able to get over the mental hurdles. So I get that move for them. I actually tip my cap to them knowing where they're at in the salary cap standpoint and making sure that you re-signed him. Phoenix and Miles Bridges, man... I don't know what Phoenix is going to be next year. I certainly didn't see them being as good as they were in the regular season this past year. We all acknowledge the level of player that he can be. There's just that moral conundrum in the back of your mind anytime his name is uttered of do I really want to do business with this guy?
He's also not just the moral part, but he's on an expiring contract.
Yes.
And he's going to get an extension. They didn't make that trade to keep him on an expiring contract. So
he's going to get a deal out of it.
Now you're going to get it's going to be Devin Booker, Miles Bridges. There's rumors they might be after Ja.
Oh, dude, if you go get Ja Morant, if you have Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, and Miles Bridges on the same team.
Yeah.
That is easily the most hated team in the NBA.
They've
outside of
the territory.
The teams who we hate because they're good, like San Antonio right. We hate because how good they are and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They will be the team, or OKC because of the flopping SGA. Just from a pure hatred and villain standpoint, nobody will outrank Phoenix in that category. It's just I love what Charlotte's done this offseason, man, and it's the benefit of having good drafts. Con Knippel pushing Cooper Flagg was tremendous last year, and there was a legitimate debate in the second half of the season of who should be the rookie of the year.
Oh,
that's how good Con Knippel played. And to your point, you don't overreact to a couple of bad playoff games. It's his rookie season. You're getting different looks.
Our guy Donovan Klingon had a terrible playoff, and we went into the weekend asking, would you trade him?
Right.
And almost all of the discourse about the Blazers and their trade and their Jaylen Brown stuff has been what? No way, can't do it. So it's
right.
Young players, breaking news, tend to struggle. It's what made Dylan Harper's finals run crazy.
That doesn't happen.
You never see that from rookies. And so Con Knippel struggling is one thing. Donovan Klingon just struggled in his first playoff go-around. Our backup big was better than him. So,
right.
To your point, they're resetting everything. You keep trusting what Con Knippel largely was.
He's going to be a really good player.
Yes, that was I think this has been good business by Charlotte, which is shocking to say out loud. But Charlotte now is a real take-them-serious team.
I mean, look, we've been through that how many times in the NBA, man? What were the Knicks for 15 years? They were a laughingstock in the NBA. They didn't do anything. They didn't matter. They couldn't win a playoff series. And then they won a championship. So even if you've been incompetent and don't appear to know what you're doing on the outside looking in, you can eventually blind squirrel find a couple of nuts and get your ducks in a row. And it seems like Charlotte's done that. I've loved their offseason so far.
If we get the breaking news of Jaylen Brown during the show, we'll obviously talk about it, dive into it. We will start talking about it, though, at 7 with John Corrales. He is the host of Locked On Celtics, SI Celtics. He's going to join us coming up at the top of the hour, so we'll see what he thinks about all the rumored packages involving the Blazers and Jaylen Brown. Coming up next, though, something did pop up around Jaylen Brown, not involving the Blazers, and that made for quite the interesting conversation. Get to that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan. That was Josh Hart, former Blazer legend. Geeky, unathletic white guys trying to be involved in basketball because they couldn't make it. I'm raising my hand super high, but I am not like the most in-depth analytics guy that lives and dies by every analytic. It became quite the controversy this weekend, Dirt. I'm pretty sure you saw the dust up. I saw it early Saturday, I want to say it was, when I saw the cut, and it was Bobby Marks on Sirius XM that started all of this. And we are in this industry as well of like when you get a radio interview and you get a cut or an answer of something that you like, you want to pull it and replay it, right? Bobby Marks talked about analytics of Jaylen Brown, and they sent out the full cut because this got aggregated, and I think he felt really bad. Jaylen Brown quote tweeted and was like, cite your source.
Yeah, he was going back. He was like, man, listen to the entire answer. They took one line out of a 3-minute answer that was not I'm not saying this is my opinion.
Yeah, I also did listen to the full 4-minute and 15-second exchange, and I'm not saying, look, Bobby Marks is a friend of the program.
Yes, he is. Good friend of the program.
P2. You know, when he got time, he's a P2.
Yes, he is.
The full cut doesn't really change the overall statement of Bobby Marks and what he said about Jaylen Brown. So if you missed it this weekend, this was what Bobby Marks said on Sirius XM radio on Jaylen Brown.
There's mixed feelings about him when you talk to teams. The analytics of Jaylen Brown is not good. I'm more of an eye test guy. There are some people out there that look at that a little bit more deeper than what the eye test says. I had one, not an executive, but an analytics guy saying, well, yeah, we view him as like the 7th best player on a team. I was like, holy crap.
Oh my God.
I get it. There's a role for analytics and stuff, but, well, I guess they call it, I joked, I said, I guess we call that strategy now. We basically changed the word. People got
7th best player on a team?
So I was like, wait a minute, that's a little bit of a stretch there.
So that was the cut that circulated of he is the 7th best player on a team. Now, I'm going to do something here because I know Marks had to come out and defend himself.
Yeah.
My only read on this, it had to have been a complete miscommunication between anybody in an NBA analytics office.
I don't get, yeah.
It had to have been, he's the 7th guy in the league you pick for a team, not the 7th best player on a team. I think Tom Habistro did the math and said he's like, that would put him at like the 250th player in the league.
It's just laughable. He was second team All-NBA this year, and he finished in the top 5 or just outside the top 5 in MVP voting. Like, it's a laughable take. I certainly think that there are organizations, and I think Bobby's being truthful here. I don't think he's making this up out of thin air. He's talking to teams. He's getting their perspective on players, and I'm sure there's some advanced analytic departments that look at him and they say, we don't think he's worth what maybe some other teams think that he is worth. Hell, I would argue, going on a limb here, I'd say his own team kind of feels this way about him. Because from a eyeball test standpoint for the last 5 to 6 years, who's been the better Boston Celtic? Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown.
Well,
and I think it's been Jaylen Brown.
And that's fine.
Every postseason run they've been on, who's been the better player? Who was the conference finals MVP? Who was the finals MVP?
But the organization is telling us simply it's Tatum.
That's how they feel. Now, I disagree with the organization, but his own organization has looked at him and said, we finally broke through and won a championship. Who was the MVP of the conference finals and the NBA finals? It was not Jason Tatum. Who is the guy who just carried us to the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, averaging the 4th most points in the NBA this year, behind only Anthony Edwards, SGA, and Luka Doncic. And we got the 2 seed in the East, despite our other player not being around, and they're still shopping him in the offseason after the year that he had. So I think his own organization feels a certain way about him, and this is where, if I were more of an analytic guy, this is the kind of stuff that would make me scream into a pillow, because it just is a bad look on all of you.
It makes the analytics
It makes the analytics stuff an absolute joke. If you don't think Jaylen Brown's a top 10 player in the NBA, like, fine, that's a point we could debate. I think last year the numbers and the metrics point out that he is a top 10 player in the NBA, and he's a clutch guy in the playoffs, and he has been his entire career. But outside, like, if you're telling me that he's that far down the list because of, actually the advanced numbers show in certain stat categories when he's off the floor, they're better without him. Like, it's just, you look like an idiot because we have eyeballs and we can watch basketball.
Well, and that Marks was citing that as well as like the eyeball test versus what you're getting from analytics. Look, there are certainly going to be analytics that people that are really into the numbers are going to tell you are not exceptional for Jaylen Brown. Sure. Again, this set off a wave of analytics, and I think David West chimed in and was like, I get it, I understand it, but he jumped on we play dweeb basketball now.
Yes, it's a problem.
And that's
gone too far.
Well, that sparked a bit of a reaction. Josh Hart's cut that we played as a rejoiner. To their credit, like people who do get involved in the analytics were like, dude, why do you think you're in the NBA? You can't really shoot. You're not a shot creator. You're not the most amazing player at the rim. Why are you in? It's analytics. You make sense analytically for your team. But yeah, take the shot at the dorky white guy with glasses that wishes he was 6'5", black, and could jump 44 inches.
I'd be dunking on everybody.
I will admit there are elements of analytics that I kind of roll my eyes at, right? I still think defensive metrics in some ways are not completely where they need to be and will only get better. But like I heard this weekend, I instantly started laughing, we'll play that Monday, and I knew it was going to set off this wave, and every analytics person or pro analytics person jumps on and this is not representative, and they start getting all defensive and hot and bothered, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. We have to misinterpret something from a random analytics guy that Bobby Marks, I still maintain the guy was probably saying 7th in the league, not on a team. There's no analytic you can prove with Jaylen Brown where you're like, he's the 7th best player.
There's not a team that exists.
Any team?
The greatest team in the history of the NBA, he wouldn't even be the 7th, but he'd be higher than the 7th best. Who's the best team of all time? In your mind, 98 Bulls, 2016 Warriors, whoever you want to go.
Sure.
All right, you're not taking him ahead of Kevin Durant and Steph Curry or maybe Klay Thompson, maybe? But I would take him over Klay. After that,
you know?
like, stop it. Fine. Jordan, okay. Pippen, okay. Rodman, fine. Different player. I still would take him over Rodman.
Brown or Kukoc?
Right? Like, get out of here, dude. It's just, part of it is, and our coach is this way to a certain extent, and I understand the numbers behind it. But I feel like there has been a lot of turning on guys who are high-volume two-point shooters. And do you know who led the NBA in two-point attempts last year?
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown took 16 two-point attempts a game.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a...
The midi is not very
The midi's
well...
gone.
Yeah.
What do coaches want?
They want threes and dunks.
Threes and dunks, right? If you're going to shoot it, you might as well try and get one more point out of it. The numbers tell us that works. Or get dunks around the rim. That's what you want to shoot. And he only shoots 5 threes a game. He shoots 16 twos a game, or at least last year he did. That was the highest number of his career. Brunson has been a guy like this for large chunks of his career, where a lot of his volume comes inside the three-point line, but not necessarily around the rim. Dude, if you're good, you're good. If you can convert, you can convert. And if you can score 28 points per game in the NBA and be the 6th in MVP voting and 2nd team all-league, you're a damn good basketball player.
But also, there's so many elements of analytics that it's not just as simple as, like, shoot threes and twos. There's more elements to it. So I'm not surprised that it was misinterpreted. I'm not surprised that it went super viral. And I also enjoyed the fact that in a weekend where we're kind of leading the pack so far in the sweepstakes, he became a lightning rod of conversation, not about if we trade Donovan Clingan.
No, that's what we did locally.
But about analytically, is he the 7th best player on a team? No, he is not. Breaking news.
Take that stock down, though, if you want, man. I think he's the 30th best player on a random NBA G League roster.
I'll just say this. If that analytics guy didn't misinterpret, and I'm incorrect here, and Marks was literally reading a text word for word, that person should have been fired a week ago. Immediately fire that person. Yes. Loaded second hour of the radio program. We'll dive in. Jaylen Brown and the Blazers rumored. John Corrales, Locked On Celtics, will join us coming up. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, your Portland Fire were in an instant classic yesterday against the Washington Mystics, the second game in WNBA history to go 4 overtimes. Unfortunately, the Fire came up short, losing 124-123. Carla Late with a career-high 32 points, tying the single-game franchise record. The World Cup knockout rounds got underway yesterday in dramatic fashion. Canada scored 2 minutes in the second half stoppage time to edge South Africa 1-0 and advance to the round of 16 for the first time ever. 3 more round of 32 matches today. Brazil takes on Japan at 10. Germany faces Paraguay at 1:30, and the Netherlands battles Morocco at 6. To the NBA, the Hornets are trading forward Miles Bridges, a future first-round pick, and a future second-round pick to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a future first-round pick. Also this morning, the Clippers and Raptors are engaged in serious trade talks for all-NBA forward Kawhi Leonard. And in golf, after a rain-delayed final round at the Travelers Championship, Scottie Scheffler and Victor Hovland finished tied for the lead at 21 under. Hovland won the sudden death playoff this morning. He made his birdie putt on the first hole while Scheffler missed a short birdie putt to give Hovland the victory. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague here on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope your weekend went well. Hope you enjoyed it. Stayed out of the downpour when it happened. If you were the golfer that got struck by lightning that appears to be okay, love to hear from you at the Fan Text line, 503-864-6326.
Yeah, give us a call, man. We'd love an insight on what that felt like.
Was it like the guy in The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd? six times. 66.
I think that's how it goes.
Dude, that's such bad luck in Oregon to get struck by lightning. It's
absolutely
terrible.
Horrible luck. Also, it wasn't even that big of a thunderstorm. I heard one clap rumble. That's all I got at
I
our
was in
house.
Hillsboro. It
a little bit
shook
more.
my brother-in-law's house.
Was it more
so
going
I think
on?
it was more Weston than it was
I just heard one. That was it. And I'm like, somebody got struck from lightning from that? What the hell's going on out here, man?
We'll dive into the Jaylen Brown stuff, and let's kick off hour number 2 with one of our favorites, a good friend, covers the Boston Celtics for the Locked On Celtics podcast and the NBA at large, John Corrales. You can find him on Twitter at John_Corrales. John, good morning. How was your weekend?
No, it was great. How are you guys?
We're doing great, man. We're sitting here waiting for the Shams bombs and hoping that Jaylen Brown's going to be a Blazer. I don't know where you're sitting with everything. We know that they're actively shopping him. I don't know if you think it's the Blazers in the lead or you think it's another team, but just everything that is the fallout of Jaylen Brown after having such a great season without Tatum mostly. They blow the 3-1 lead in the playoffs. Just getting to this point and how loud it's been over in Boston with Jaylen Brown basically asking out without publicly doing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like shocked at the fact that we're even here. I think maybe the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade pursuit was the last straw for him, or maybe he just feels like after the season that he had, he wants his own team. He wants to be the number one guy somewhere. Either way, it's clearly the momentum is that Jaylen is on his way out of town. As surprised as I am to hear it, I don't know that was the plan heading into this offseason for the Celtics, but it seems to be the plan now. And the Blazers represent, at this point, probably the best combination of picks that the Celtics are looking for, maybe some young talent, and the opportunity to get a player like in Jeremy Grant, a salary that they can turn around and use to package to kind of continue to improve their team. So it's not Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they're probably not going to get the superstar or near superstar that they're hoping for in return. So I think it's going to be a pivot to getting the picks, getting some young players, and getting that salary.
I mean, it makes sense for both sides. I was one at the start when the Giannis thing went down. I thought, well, now Brown, the ship's kind of sailed there because I don't understand why Boston would want to do this with Portland. But then you hear what you're explaining and some of the salary and the picks and all that, and then being able to package that into something else. One of the debates that has happened locally for us that we chuckle at, we put a poll question up on our show page on Friday. Would you include Donovan Clingan in a trade? And it was a near 50-50 split, which makes me want to scream at my fan base. But let me ask you that question. Is there a deal in place here, you think, without Donovan Clingan, or do you think that will be the hang-up because we continue to hear the Celtics are looking for a big, and he's certainly a good young big?
Yeah, look, I don't think that Clingan's inclusion, or I don't think that's going to be the thing that derails this whole thing. But the Celtics are going to push hard for it. I think, from a personal level, I would love to get Toumani Camara out of it. And if it's an either or, it might just be pick one of those two guys, and the Celtics will be happy to get one of those two, and then Jeremy Grant or whatever filler you can get from there. And it just depends on the package of picks versus the types of players. Fewer picks, better players. Better picks, fewer players type of thing, right. As long as the money works salary-wise. But I don't know that they're dying to get Donovan Clingan, but they would like to. So if it's not in this deal, they can try to find a big somewhere else, some other way. So, but yeah, that is definitely one of the names that keeps coming up.
We're talking with John Corrales, Locked On Celtics. He's been covering the Celtics for a while. Covers the league as a whole, too. We've talked to him about league-wide stuff, but pretty connected and following what Boston's done. If you were to try to, bet, would you bet that it's today that he's moved, or do you think this is going to continue to be a slow roll? Because Steven seems to move at his own pace. Obviously, it's really noisy, so maybe that's a reason to drum up more interest around the league. Obviously, we played Bobby Marks' audio before we had you on, so it's becoming very contentious of what Jaylen Brown, what's he worth, versus what kind of player he is. Yeah. Do you expect this to be done today, or would you say it's going to be more of a slow rollout for Brad Stevens?
Well, I don't know if it gets done today, but it needs to be done soon, because whatever the Celtics end up deciding to do, they need to figure out how they're going to build up the rest of their team. Because trading away Jaylen Brown only is just the beginning of their offseason. So you have to figure out, is it going to be the Blazers package or not? Are they going to have to pivot? Is it going to be Denver, or is it going to be Atlanta? As long as they have some sort of trade war, some bidding war going on, then they can kind of pit the teams against each other, force teams to make their, best and final offer soon, and then pick from that so they can start talking to free agents. The types of free agents you're going to get depends on what your return is. So, if it's going to be Clingan, then great. Then your center situation is set. You got to start focusing on forwards and guards. But if it's going to be Kamara, then you have to go find a big. And so the teams you're talking to are going to be different. You need to get this stuff done soon so you know what the rest of your team's going to look like. So today, maybe today. There's a lot of stuff happening today. But if not today, relatively soon.
Yeah, it'd be great. We'd love to see something sooner than later. I'm curious what you make as somebody who's followed and covered the Celtics for a long time. Just of this whole discourse, the analytical conversation, the Bobby Marks comments, Jaylen Brown is defending himself on social media. We all have eyeballs we can watch. I'm sure there's a number here or there, an advanced stat you could point to that says he's not great at this or not great at that, but I just watched a guy carry a team to the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, averaging nearly 30 points per game and being the driving force behind that. Just what do you make of this debate, and then the idea of It seems like he's kind of always been that Robin his entire career and put behind Tatum in the pecking order of things in Boston.
Yeah, look, analytics and the eye test need to work hand in hand, because your eyes will tell you something, but your eyes also have bias, right? Sometimes you're looking for things. Sometimes because you're looking at one thing, you're missing the other thing. And the stats can support or, refute some things. The stats aren't always perfect either, because each team is different. And just because, I understand, I've seen Jaylen Brown's advanced analytics always look kind of worse than you feel like he's playing. And I think some of that is, situational. When are you on the floor? Who are you on the floor with? And how much do you have to do? And it certainly exposes some flaws in his game. But no player is perfect. Especially like when you're talking about a Jaylen Brown who's, a two-time All-NBA guy, a third-teamer and a second-teamer. So there's going to be something that keeps him from being that perennial first-team guy. Okay, fine. But that doesn't mean that he's not impactful. And whatever analytics guy said that Jaylen's going to be the seventh best player on a team, that person should be fired. If you come up with any metric that says Jaylen Brown is the seventh best player on a team, you do not tell Bobby Marks that. You tell Bobby Marks, oh my God, I have a horribly flawed analytics system. I need to fix this before anybody catches on. That's what he should have said.
Yeah, tell him about the broken model that they've created. Hey, guess what this thing said? Jaylen Brown's a seventh on a team.
Well, we can debate whether Jaylen is a first, a second, or even if you're down on Jaylen Brown, you can say he's like the third best guy. Mm-hmm. But you can't say he's any worse than the third best guy on a team. Right. That's outrageous. So wherever the analytics rank him, that some players just, you need to look at the eye test and you need to look at what his impact is. The dude was just a Finals MVP, legitimately a Finals MVP. He was huge in that championship run. So however we got here, he's still a damn good player. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, I don't remember the second part of your question.
That's okay. On a shocked meter, 1 to 10, where would you be if they just ran it back with Brown? If they didn't end up agreeing to anything? Stevens doesn't seem like the easiest guy to deal with at all times. So if Portland bows out eventually because they don't want to give up a Donovan Clingan or whatever it is, where would your shock meter be of Jaylen Brown in a Celtic uniform starting opening night?
It's probably at a 5, and that might just be because I never expected him to be traded in the first place. So all of this is very confusing to me. If Brad is as good as he is supposed to be, and if Jaylen Brown has any level of self-awareness, he can look at the situation and say, maybe I don't want to go and be, the number one guy on certain rosters. Maybe he doesn't like Portland. Like, I like Portland. It's a very nice city. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't like that fit. Maybe he doesn't want to compete with Denny Avdia. It could be any number of things. Or maybe he loves it. But if he's looking at a situation saying this is not ideal for me, then he can kind of, I think, look at the offers that are out there, look at the situation that's being, as my dog doesn't like this trade.
Pro Brown, you can't make this trade.
Don't trade him.
Yeah. The Jaylen can, if he can take an honest look at how things are lining up, he might just say, look, going back to Boston, I know they tried to trade me, but it's not the end of the world. I can go back to a place that I know I'm good here, and we can win a championship. I'll wrap it up saying this. Jaylen Brown winning another championship in Boston would make him an absolute legend in this city. He's already pretty close. If he sticks around and if he understands that sticking around and winning another championship in Boston, what that does to his legacy, I think it makes it easier for him to put whatever trade pursuits are out there behind him and he can kind of get past that and get back to business. So I'm kind of like 50-50 on, like, I wouldn't be totally shocked if he came back.
Legend in Boston winning a second championship's great. He could be an icon in Portland forever if he won one in Portland. I'll tell you that much right now.
For sure. No doubt. No doubt.
I'm curious of this from the Boston angle of, like you mentioned, Brown being the Finals MVP. He was the Conference Finals MVP the year that they won the championship, the year that he just had kind of carrying them. And not that he didn't have any help, right? It's not a completely flawed roster, but being the best player on a team that got the 2 seed. I know the playoffs didn't end the way that they wanted to, but just of what this means for Tatum, I guess, going forward, if the trade is to happen. Like, let's follow that road for a minute. Because I thought the first time they made the finals, and you've obviously watched this a lot closer than me, I thought Brown outplayed him in that Golden State series. I thought he was the better player in the playoffs and in the finals. Then you get back to the finals and you win one, and he is the finals MVP. Like, I get why Tatum has always been the face of the franchise, but I don't know. I find that an interesting thing of, what if they don't win another one? Like, what does it mean for Tatum's legacy? And if they aren't the 2 seed next year and Brown is gone, what does it mean for his legacy of going forward? Because this tandem's been together for a really long time.
Yeah, look, the assumption here in Boston is that, Tatum is the untouchable one, and, Tatum's the perennial first teamer. And you could argue that part of the reason why Jalen was the Finals MVP is because the way Tatum was guarded, it just allowed Jalen a little bit more freedom, and he took advantage of it. I don't think it will impact Tatum's legacy necessarily. I mean, obviously, if the team drops off and there's, it's going to be tough this coming season because there's the potential for Jaylen Brown to get traded, the return to not be great. And now Jason is facing a situation where he's the one leading another, a lesser than expected team. And they don't get to the 2 seed, like you said, and all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe Jalen, is the better. You're not going to stop the online Twitter folks from making that conversation. They'll say anything. Mm-hmm. I think Jason is a good enough player that that stuff will be overcome. I think the style of play, the rest of the team, like, you got to remember there's a Derek White here. Nimish Keita was really good last year as a center. They have good young players. Joe Mazzulla is, coach of the year. They have Brad Stevens, executive of the year. They can figure it out. So I think Tatum is just going to continue to be Tatum. And the Celtics will continue to be good. It's just they're going to have to be good a different way. So I think Tatum's legacy is going to be fine.
John Corrales, our guest here, Locked On Celtics, been covering the Celtics for quite some time. Him and his dog joining us here on the Portland Sports Leader 105.1, The Fan. They've done business with Boston. There's always this old adage in the NBA, look who two teams have done business with, like tend to have good relationships. You keep going back to the well there. They did the Drew Holiday exchange. I'm just curious.
Multiple times,
they have a good relationship. Why don't we have a trade yet? What do you think the hang-up is right now as we sit?
Negotiations. It's just, this is part of the negotiation. Multiple teams are involved, so it's going to slow the process down. But I 100% agree with you. I'm looking at the same teams that you are, and when you can do a deal with a team once, then you go back to that well for sure. Which makes me wonder about the teams that we haven't heard of. Are they going to be in the mix? Like, there's Utah with the Angels. There's OKC, who's got some decisions to make and tons of assets themselves. There are teams that Celtics have done business with before that like to operate in silence. And so the Portland thing is getting out there, and I don't doubt any of the Portland stuff, but I also don't doubt that it's not just Portland, that there are other teams involved and other players involved, and the Celtics are just, they're doing what they're supposed to do, which is get multiple teams competing with one another. So the deal that they want to get done is more likely to get done. Exert your leverage, exert your pressure, put the deadlines out there, and see if you can, like, they can be buddy with everybody in that Portland front office, but it's also everybody's competing with one another, and you're trying to get the best deal done for your team And I think that's just why we haven't gotten a deal done yet.
If you're a betting man, is it Portland? Does this get done with Portland? If it's involving other teams, then so be it. But does Portland land Jaylen Brown in your estimation?
So if we're going to do the betting odds kind of thing, I would say Portland has the best odds at this point, but the field has the better odds. You know what I mean? Portland has better odds than any team, but I'm going to say that's going to be a 40% chance. But all the other teams have a 15% chance. But that means all the other teams combined, there's a chance that it could be somewhere else. So I'm going to say Portland just because that's where all the noise is. But I'm leaving a significant amount of doubt right now, just because I know how the league works and how Brad operates. And I feel like there's stuff that we don't know that's happening that could be a surprise. Historically, I don't know that it's always the team that makes the most noise with Boston that gets the deal done. It's always the most noise, and then all of a sudden it's it's cooled off, and then someone else kind of swoops in. So I'm not going to rule that part out. But I will say that, I'll reiterate, Portland does seem to have the best combination of all the assets Boston is looking for, with the caveat that unless the OKC Thunder decide to jump in with all of their combined assets, there's a potential for a wild card there.
All right, good stuff. And the dog's name is?
Teddy.
Hey!
Teddy's the one with the big loud bark.
There we go. My co-host.
Teddy's a great name. It's the name of my son.
That's the name of his son.
Awesome. We named him after Teddy Pendergrass.
Ooh, okay. I went Ted. It was more Ted Williams for me back in the day. Teddy Baseball,
That's a good one, too. Hey, we appreciate that in Boston.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. John Corrales, our good friend at Locked On Celtics, with the latest on Jaylen Brown rumor mill stuff. Good weekend of news bits. We'll see if it ends up happening between Portland and Boston. Thank you, John. We appreciate the time.
All right, thank you, guys. See ya.
All right, there we go. Great stuff from John Corrales, Locked On Celtics. Let's react to what he said. Let's dive into it. Jaylen Brown, Portland stuff, took over the weekend. Dive into it next. 105.1 The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, your Portland Fire were in an instant classic yesterday against the Washington Mystics, the second game in WNBA history to go 4 overtimes. Unfortunately, the Fire came up short, losing 124-123. Carla Late with a career-high 32 points, tying the single-game franchise record. The World Cup knockout rounds got underway yesterday in dramatic fashion. Canada scored 2 minutes in the second half stoppage time to edge South Africa 1-0 and advance to the round of 16 for the first time ever. 3 more round of 32 matches today. Brazil takes on Japan at 10. Germany faces Paraguay at 1:30, and Netherlands battles Morocco at 6. To the NBA, the Hornets are trading forward Miles Bridges, a future first-round pick and a future second-round pick, to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a future first-round pick. The Clippers and Raptors are engaged in trade talks for all-NBA forward Kawhi Leonard. And in golf, after a rain-delayed final round of the Travelers Championship, Scottie Scheffler and Victor Hovland finished tied for the lead at 21 under. Hovland won the sudden death playoff this morning. He made his birdie putt on the first hole while Scheffler missed a short birdie putt. I'm Brendan Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fans.
All right, good stuff from John Corrales. Welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague with you on this beautiful Monday morning. Hello. We put up a poll question on Friday, and it was pretty simple. Let me scroll back because I have not seen it. Would you include Donovan Clingan in a trade for Jaylen Brown? Look at us knowing that Clingan was going to become one of the loudest parts of a trade potentially.
The reports are the Boston's looking for a big. Guess what we happen to have?
Well, we have a big.
We got 2 of them. We also have Chinese Jokic. You want him? You can have him.
Well, we don't have 2, unless you're counting Jokic or Young as the...
Yeah, he's our number 2.
Okay.
He's our number 2.
Rob Will might be going to the Lakers, but...
In his second year in the NBA, he has to be ready to play backup minutes, right?
No, he doesn't.
Right?
No, he could be our third guy.
He has to be ready to be a backup.
Year 3 is when you watch out.
Yes.
44.7% of you, and it went into the weekend, say, absolutely the hell not will you include Donovan Clingan in a trade for Jaylen Brown. This became very contentious on social media this weekend. People arguing if you should do it, why you should not do it. And I'm certainly not going to pretend that social media is the norm, nor is Blaze or Reddit, despite what it may make you feel.
No.
But, man, it seemed really loud on the socials, on the internet this weekend that Portland fans, largely the ones voicing their opinions, do not dare put Donovan Clingan in any trade, even if it involves Jaylen Brown.
It is somehow the curse of Jermaine O'Neal living on to this day, because I don't know how many examples you need the other direction for it to finally set in that it's okay to trade young pieces for a known commodity. Like, how many times over the years, and we talked about this a little bit on Friday, I'll just point to 2 examples in the last decade. We did this for almost 10 years with C.J. McCollum. He's an all-star caliber guard. He's an all-star caliber guard. He could be an all-star. This year he's an all-star. Mm-hmm. Guess what? He never was.
An all-star.
He never got to be an all-star. What was he? He was the same player every year. He can impact the game in one way and one way only, and that was making shots. Outside of that, he's not going to play a lick of defense. He's not a high assist guy. So you get him on a hot night, and he can carry you offensively. If you get him on a bad night, he does literally nothing to help your basketball team win. And we held on to him year after year after year after year with the idea of this backcourt can't be broken up until we sold low and moved on from him when we finally had no other choice. I think we did the exact same thing in the aftermath of the Lillard trade. When we drafted guards in back-to-back years in the top 10, we did the same thing with Anthony Simons. This guy's going to be this. He's going to be that. We got to hold on to him. He's the next Damian Lillard.
This is a little different in the sense of, like, I hear what you're saying about CJ. Simons, I felt, was a little more, there were more people being leeway-wise.
That
like,
was
yeah,
a lesser percentage, a far lesser percentage than CJ, but those people existed.
No doubt, they did. Well, it's always going to exist. It could exist for Jeremy Grant, for God's sakes, in this city. But I find it very interesting, the Donovan Clingan. Now, John Corrales, who we just had on, if you missed that that interview, you can catch it on the podcast. You can rewind on the YouTube streams if that's what you want to do. Really good stuff. That's somebody that's pretty plugged in. saying he didn't think, and we'll bring this back in the final hour, but basically he doesn't think that this entire deal hinges on Donovan Clingan.
They'd like to have him or Tumani, but it's not the end-all be-all necessarily.
And that's where Corrales was like, actually, of the two, I'd rather have Tumani Kamara, which Tumani Kamara on the Boston Celtics is a terrifying idea.
Mm-hmm.
But from the Portland angle, and look, again, I don't want to overreact to tweets, but then you see things like, we can't involve Tumani or Donovan, and I'm just like, well, if Denny's off the table, who are we trading?
Then what are you giving up outside of draft capital?
That everybody wants Shaden Sharp and Scoot Henderson. I don't know if that's the case. You want good players in this league. Boston's in a win-now mode. They are not in a, let's develop a young point guard who we're not sure is really capable of being a true starting guard in this league. They're not going that path. They might have Scoot involved in the trade in some capacity.
Sure.
But sometimes we're our own worst enemy in the sense of like, we just basically want to live in the world where we don't trade talent, but we want the big talent back.
We want the big trade, but we're not willing to give up what it takes to get the big trade done.
And I find that a fascinating thing here, man. If Denny is off the table, we know Dame is off the table because he's got the no trade clause.
Dame's not going anywhere.
Right. So like if Denny is off of all the talent that you have, everybody else is open or at least part of the conversations. Who are you expecting them to trade that a team like Boston, who wants to continue to win in the Tatum era, is going to say, yeah, this helps us now versus, yeah, let's take a flyer. Like, Shaden Sharp is cool on paper. I've already seen him in the uniform. But also, man, in Boston, they'd turn on him so quick if he did in Boston what he's done a lot in Portland.
How did it go for Anthony Simons in Boston?
Right. They traded him to Chicago for a backup big, and then he ended up getting hurt. So now he's a free agent. Now he's a vet min in Miami.
Bye-bye.
So I just, the discourse in Portland involving our young talent, it is a Jermaine O'Neal sickness. It also just, we love our team. Because it's our only of the major four pro teams, right? If you were to say Timbers, you're on the outside looking in from the core four, you look at Portland, because it's our baby, we just tend to love things a little more than a lot of other markets. Where, I heard Simmons did this with Lowe yesterday because they were talking about this. And I know people are trying to aggregate it and do the ha-ha, oh, now you're saying this. Simmons is like, I'm seeing they don't want to give Donovan Clingan. Fans don't want to trade Donovan Clingan for Jaylen Brown. What are we talking about here? And I'm like shaking my head. Like, yeah, I know. What are we talking about here? We're talking about a league that needs bigs, so you get a lot of those people. And then people want to point out that basically Simmons didn't want to trade Hugo Gonzalez for Giannis. And people are like, yo, that's not actually the same trade. Jaylen Brown was in the trade.
Right.
That would have been the talent. It would have been Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Involving Giannis. If we're not trading Donovan or Tumani, who are you involving?
Right.
That's interesting.
It's just draft picks and salary to fill, and then either Scoot or Shaden because that's all that you got left on the roster. I understand the desire for Boston for draft picks and a salary like Grant's. A team like Boston could flip that and try and turn that into, fill in the blank of a player, right, of a team that's maybe looking to restart. They can find a way to take those pieces and turn it into something else. But at the end of the day, if this trade hinges on the idea of we want Clingan or we want Tumani, I can feel one way about the other. I can want them to keep one over the other. I'm doing the trade either way.
Who would you rather keep?
I would rather keep Tumani than Clingan.
Really?
I would. But if they say Tumani is the deal breaker, 3 first-round picks, Jeremy Grant and Tumani Kamara, or we're not doing the trade, I'd say then do the trade. Mm-hmm. Then do the trade because I'm getting a wing who's better than Tumani Kamara. It's not even a debate.
I don't know what we're talking about here. He's a two-way.
I feel like I'm taking bizarre, crazy pills right now. Sometimes when I do this with this fan base, I was reminded of this again this weekend. It's funny. Yeah. Our baseball teams played this weekend. And I don't know how many times we as fans need to learn the lesson of known commodity versus unknown commodity. You guys have a backup catcher who once upon a time was the number 2 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And was the heir apparent to Buster Posey in San Francisco. He's now playing on his 4th team, and he's the backup catcher to the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
And I spent 2 years screaming, do not include him in trades for anybody, because he's the future. And then they eventually just designated him for assignment, and he signed in Pittsburgh, and you got nothing out of him. But at the time, he had a high stock profile. And so I look at Clingan and I look at Kamara. I think they're both. The tough part with this is when these conversations come up, it turns into a criticism of the guy as if I don't like them as players, or I don't think that they're good. And that is not the case, and I don't want that to be the takeaway. I think Tumani Kamara, to a certain extent, has reached his offensive ceiling. It's not a bad offensive ceiling. He took 7 threes a game this year. He shot 37%. He averaged almost 14 points per game. That's not terrible. That's a really good role player on a team, especially when you combine it with his defense. I don't ever see him having a deeper bag offensively than kind of what he's got right now. He's not a great ball handler. He's not great tacking on his own. He can be a great knockdown shooter, and he's served that role well the last 2 years, despite how bad he was at times in the postseason. And the same thing goes for Klingon. Like, I look at him, and I see a guy who I understand the argument of wanting a big. This is a difference. Charlotte made this choice to keep their young guard and build around him despite his bad playoffs in Con Knipple. The difference between them is Con Knipple just couldn't make a shot to save his life. And he's shown you he has the ability to make shots in almost every game that he plays in. He just had a bad couple of games. That's why you don't overreact to it. We couldn't play Donovan Klingon against San Antonio when Victor Wembanyama was on the floor. Why was that? He wasn't athletic enough. It was a matchup nightmare.
Couldn't hit his threes.
Right, and so you can sell me the idea of Klingon getting better, and the Brook Lopez comp we talked about Friday is totally fair. This idea we have to have a big because Victor Wembanyama exists. The guy that we have couldn't play against him, and the reason he couldn't play against him, I don't ever foresee being something that necessarily goes away.
I mean, goes away in the sense of like better than Wemby. No,
but in terms of like
not.
His athletic ability, his
that's not
side to side,
much better. His shooting would get better.
His shooting can get better, and that's fine. But the argument I see for keeping him is, well, you have to have a big in the West right now.
Yes,
the big we have in the West couldn't play against him in the playoffs.
Well, so take Minnesota. Like, do you you can hate or love Minnesota and what they do, right? They do have Rudy Gobert, so that does help. But like, they just traded their stretch five, and you can think it's a bad deal that doesn't age well. Because they're kind of taking a slightly different approach. They want another shot creator, another ball handler to try to ease things for Ant Edwards and open up stuff for guys like Jaden McDaniels. Now, it does, again, help that they have Rudy Gobert, a multi-defensive player of the year down there.
Also an All-NBA star leading your team in Anthony Edwards.
But all I'm saying is, like, Minnesota's attacking this from a slightly different approach. You're not going to ever match San Antonio with what their strength is. If I was to make a choice between the two, I'd rather have Donovan. I would much rather have Donovan than Tamani. And I love Tamani Kamara. He's a great player. Him on Boston is terrifying to me. But I would rather lean the 7-2 big that is capable of being in best defensive down-low players in the league. He may never win DPOY. It's hard to see that happening. But he's in a conversation of, like, really damn good low post defensive presence that can alter a lot of teams and what they're doing.
It's a very good young big man.
That being said, is he ever going to make an All-NBA?
I would vote no.
Okay. Is he going to win DPOY?
I would vote no.
I think you need some things to go your way that way. It's not to diminish it. It's just to simply point out you have acquired and built up a treasure trove of assets that now has you in a position to go get an All-NBA guy who loves cats, who went to college on the West Coast.
He would fit in perfectly with us.
I'm curious about the fit part of that too with Denny. That's a fascinating thing.
Oh, on a basketball court, different debate. But from a cultural standpoint, he would fit in with Portland.
An All-NBA caliber player
right.
who led a team to a 2 seed? We don't have any of that. We don't have a player.
No.
So Denny's a good player. He has not done so far in his career what Jalen just did in Boston. I know the age gap, but I'm just alone on this. I will be different than everybody. If it involves Donovan, I'll be devastated. It sucks to lose it. I love the notion that you can't find another center in the NBA.
Right, they don't exist, man.
And Tamani I'd be sad to lose Tamani. But we are talking about Jalen effing Brown.
Yes.
This is a caliber player this city has longed for this organization to trade for. We finally get to a doorstep, knock on the door. It looks like they're coming to the door to answer it, and somebody next to you grabs you on the sleeve. We actually can't stay. We got to get out of here. Because the idea of a player you have may end up being so good that you can't give him up. And I don't want to continue to live in that world. Let's roll it on. Where are you at on this? 503-864-6326. Want to play one cut from somebody on Portland's draft haul. Tamani or Donovan? Like, let us know how you feel about this. Would you involve either of them in a trade? John Corrales says he doesn't think it all hinges on Donovan Klingon. Where are you at? You can let us know at the Fan text line. We'll dive back more into it next on The Fan. Joe Cronin hoping he's in his bag. Jeremy Grant, Shaden Sharp, Scoot, and 5 firsts for Jaylen Brown would be a hell of a win.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like from Portland's side, it will come down to the idea, and I guess Boston's, what's more important to them? Is it the draft capital or is it a young player? Is it a young piece? Because Jeremy Grant's a contract.
Win now.
And no doubt about it. But do they feel like if you give them one more pick, they can turn that into fill-in-the-blank player and replace Jaylen Brown with that? We give them draft capital. We have, by the way, one of their picks. Well, potentially one of their picks, because one of the years we got swaps. I think we have the best and worst of the
Cleveland, I think,
right? It's 3 teams, and we get the first one and the third one. So, there's that idea of it that they can flip it. I think that's the big question here. Is it more draft capital or is it one of the 2 young players? Because let's be honest, I would rather keep Scoot than Shaden probably at this point, but neither one is a deal breaker for me. By all means, if you want them both, you can have them. They don't have a lot of value on the open market. 2 guys who, by the way, were draft picks that we could have traded for OG Anunoby, but the thought of Scoot and them were doing the exact same thing. So if that's the end-all be-all and it comes down to one of the 2 players, that's fine. Maybe Portland's able to finagle it and say Grant, Shaden, and Scoot, but we'll throw in another first-round pick on top of it, and there goes our draft capital, but we've kept Klingon and we've kept Kamara, and now we've added Jaylen Brown to the mix.
Yeah, I mean, if Joe Cronin could get the deal done with Jeremy, Shaden, Scoot, and picks, I mean, my God.
What if it's 5 first-round picks?
Build the statue.
Yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
If you kept Donovan, Tamani, Denny, Dame, Drew, and brought in Jaylen Brown...
Hell of an offseason right there, Bob. Hell of an offseason.
That is your best offseason maybe ever.
Yes, it is.
I think a lot of people would make that argument very easily. You could say Scotty if you want. That would be an amazing move if Cronin could make that happen. I'm not convinced it will. I'd imagine Boston wants one of the 2 young studs that we're yelling at each other about between Donovan and Tamani, and we'll kind of see what happens there. Here is Bobby Marks. We played his cut on analytics earlier. He also gave some thoughts on Jaylen Brown and how it involves Portland, his view of Portland trying to get Jaylen Brown.
When you have new ownership in Portland, which I thought would probably make the most sense, they are the ultimate wild card in this because, A, they don't know the rules. This is all new to them. They're chasing a star, right? They want to brand a new star and everything like that, and they've got a ton of things that they can put in a deal. And Joe Cronin, Joe knows the rules and stuff like that, but it's more about educating the ownership group on how to build a roster, and it's a lot different than what the owner did in Carolina with the hockey team.
We have loved, I think, as media and fans to tell you over the years, oh, Portland's going to get involved. Oh, Portland's going to do this, and then nothing, right? Like, we are exceptional at that.
Yes.
I mean, it's as loud as maybe it's ever been. It is abundantly clear to everybody covering the league. You want to name the name, throw it out there. They're star hunting. They are obviously star hunting right now.
They want a big name. And some of the thoughts that came in, one of them that I just want to push back on because I've seen this and I understand why people have the thought process, but to me, it's like it's kind of a now or never situation. Somebody said, I think keeping Klingon makes more long-term sense. The big thing with the trade is, does it kill any long-term visions for the Blazers? I get it. We want to win and I want to win, but let's not do what the Heat just did. First off, we don't know what the Heat just did. We don't know how that's going to work out in Miami. They've added one of the 10 best players in the NBA, and when healthy and available, one of the most unstoppable forces the league has ever seen. So maybe that tandem is good enough to win the East next year. I have no idea. So on the surface level, you can not like the trade and say it's just going to be Bam and Giannis. What if they go fill out the rest of the roster with vet minimum deals and guys that are impactful players because you've surrounded them with Giannis and Bam? We don't know how that's going to work out. The idea of we want to win, but at what point do we find something that is satisfying to that level of fandom, if that makes sense? Like, if a guy who just led a team to the Eastern Conference Finals, to the number 2 seed in the East, has been an Eastern Conference Finals MVP and a Finals MVP, averaged the, I think, 4th most points in the NBA and was 2nd team All-NBA. That's not big enough to give up your haul of assets for? What is big enough to give up your haul of assets for? Oh, by the way, when the Giannis trade stuff was going down, the biggest debate was what? He's on an expiring deal. Will he sign an expiring contract? Jaylen Brown has 3 years left on his deal. He ain't walking next offseason. Like, maybe you could shake. You don't have to trade him. You don't want to. So this idea, like, it's not a 1 year, let's go all in for a year and see how it goes, Kawhi Leonard or Giannis. This is a 3-year run that you would have with one of, in my opinion, and the NBA backed it up, 10 best players in the league based on the way he played last year. And so this is the one that I want to push back on the most of like, well, this is too much for me right now. Then what player is it enough for if Jaylen Brown is not enough? Because the chances of you getting a player better than Jaylen Brown in a trade are next to zero, man.
Well, they don't pop up for us very often, right? Like, there's a lot of players, but the Blazers are not largely one mentioned as much as they've been for Brown. Now,
we had a better asset package for Giannis. Why didn't the trade happen? Because he wasn't going to sign an extension, and they weren't willing to roll the dice on a 1 year.
Brown's at least been West Coast, went to Cal.
Yes.
Like, I think you could talk him into it, and he would come here thinking, it's my team, even if Denny also doesn't buy that. Like, that's kind of the thinking of it, right? It's the separation, complete opposite, different conference. Let me just get to the one thing on that. That's totally fine to have the opinion that person had, and it's totally fine to have your opinion. This is where I will not live. I will not live past 6 years. I don't know why we do this in that league specifically. I don't know why we do it in any sport, to be honest with you. Maybe baseball, you can do it. Why does anybody do the whole, I don't want it to ruin our future? What is the future in the NBA? It's largely 3-year increments.
Yeah.
It's like, look at how many teams we thought were going to be mega dynasties, and within the blink, don't get another one, and now they're like out in the first round. How's Denver feeling right now?
Yes.
They might be trading for Jaylen Brown. They might jump into this as a stealth team involving Jamal Murray, Cam Thomas, and all these picks. Like, they might be the team that lands Jaylen Brown because guess what? They've got a superstar who needs a little more help. So we live in this perpetual world in our town and our fan base of, well, what are we going to be in 5 years? It's like, I don't care.
The team might not even be here in 5 years.
What have we been for 5 years previous?
Trade all the picks. The team's moving to Kalamazoo, dude. They're even going to be our picks.
Yeah, jokingly, that might be the case, but like, we cannot live being paralyzed by where we're at in 7 years, dude. I don't know if the world's around in 7 years. I want to be in a world where we have a very damn good basketball player who doesn't seem to have a problem being here, and that's where I want to live. I do think, however, and I hate to bring this up so close to the break, it is interesting to think about if they don't get Jaylen Brown, if it's Detroit, Charlotte, Denver.
Somebody else
right?
does it.
The stealth team. I'm not going to make excuses for it. I do think there's a world you can make a case that they just made the playoffs for the first time in this era. Do you just quietly build and you want to establish your consistent playoff starts because I don't know how much better they're going to be? I think you can make a case. I don't agree with the case, but you can make a case, hey, let's get back to the postseason, have a couple years postseason run, hold our assets for one more year, and then see what the market is next year to strike. It's not something I'll be super stoked on, but I have seen the case, and I don't necessarily think it's the worst idea of all time if you miss out on Brown.
Look, the silver lining if this doesn't go down is that you still have this collection of assets that you could work with. But I guarantee you, and mark my words, the second we are the 7th seed again and get bounced in the first round of the playoffs next year, we're all going to be screaming about them not being more aggressive. And maybe that's not their future. Maybe Dame comes back and plays like prime Dame and he doesn't miss a beat and he's averaging nearly 30 a game and he carries us to the 5 seed and we win a playoff series. I don't know what the future holds, but mark my words, if we have a similar year next year as we did this past year, which I think we can be a better team but still have a similar win-loss record because how much better the Western Conference is going to be, we will all be screaming come playoff time, why didn't we make that move? And I will again just simply ask the question, what do you think the odds are that a player better than Jaylen Brown is available on the open market and interested in playing in Portland?
It's a TBD. I don't know.
Nobody knows, and it's impossible to answer.
Be involved.
That's a role that I said I'm not willing to take, and maybe I'm wrong. And there's a fill in the blank better player that's available next offseason, and we could have gone to go get him. If Jaylen Brown's out there and we got a shot at it, man, you got to take that shot.
All right, we'll see if it happens. We'll get back into this in the final hour. You can continue to chime in at 503-864-6326. How about a palate cleanser? How about a little breath here? 9 more of these is going to make all of us happier. We'll tell you what that is. Plus, we'll get into the debate involving this NFL team who did something this weekend and local news that hit dirt pretty hard this weekend. More of that, Hour 3, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, your Portland Fire were in an instant classic yesterday against the Washington Mystics, the second game in WNBA history to go 4 overtimes. Unfortunately, the Fire came up short, losing 124-123. Carla Late with a career-high 32 points, tying the single-game franchise record. The World Cup knockout rounds got underway yesterday in dramatic fashion. Canada scored 2 minutes into second half stoppage time to edge South Africa 1-0 and advance to the round of 16 for the first time ever. 3 more round of 32 matches today. Brazil takes on Japan at 10. Germany faces Paraguay at 1:30, and Netherlands battles Morocco at 6. To the NBA, the Hornets are trading forward Miles Bridges, a future first-round pick and future second-round pick to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a future first-round pick. The Clippers and Raptors are engaged in serious trade talks for all NBA forward Kawhi Leonard. And Draymond Green is declining his $27.7 million player option with the Warriors to become a free agent. This gives Golden State the flexibility to pursue a big free agent like LeBron James. And in golf, after a rain-delayed final round at the Travelers Championship, Scottie Scheffler and Victor Hovland finished tied for the lead at 21 under. Hovland won the sudden death playoff this morning. He made a birdie on the first hole, whilst Scheffler missed a short birdie putt. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fans.
Tiny legs and I'm fat. Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3. Dirt and Sprague here. Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. It's been a fantastic start to the show. We've yelled about Donovan Clingan. Would you or would you not include him in a trade? It's a bridge too far for me. Lots of thoughts on Jaylen Brown. We will keep our eye to that and see if anything breaks here in the last 2 hours of the show.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of thoughts. Some of them agree, some of them disagree. Somebody said getting Brown only makes sense if we win a title in the next 2 years. Why?
What?
Why?
What?
He's got 3 years left on his deal.
Why is it a 2-year window? Now we don't even have a third year of the window?
You can't even operate anymore, man.
I thought we're opening a 3-year window here. Can we open our 3-year window up?
I view the league through 3-year increments. Doesn't make me right. I'm certainly not the Mr. NBA nationally, but I've seen enough basketball and followed a league enough to know that none of this gets past 5 years largely, unless you get a LeBron, unless you get a Curry. And so, yeah, you could have Denny Avdi on your team in 5 years. My point is, your window is never going to fully shut unless you blow it up, and it's always going to change. It's never like going to be a 5-year build-up, and the Blazers kept Donovan and Tamani, and then they won the championship.
It's not usually the way that it works, man. And to your point on champions, I think there's 3 great examples of this. One of them we're debating with right now. You have Milwaukee, who won the title, and we thought, oh, my God, how's anybody going to stop this? And then everybody stopped it, and now Giannis is in Miami.
He's been hurt 5 of the last 6 seasons to end the year.
Right? You have Denver, who won a title, and it's like, oh, my God, how's anybody going to stop this? And then they couldn't get out of the first round. They're listening potentially to trades on Aaron Gordon. That's a whole other conversation we can get into.
Oh, our backup plan.
Right? Our number 2 plan. And maybe they're in the mix for Jaylen Brown. I don't know. Maybe it's Gordon for Brown. Maybe that's a trade with some other draft capital that ends up getting the deal done. But they haven't done much when it matters most the last handful of years. And then Boston just won a title a couple of years ago with the Brown-Tatum partnership, and what are they likely to do in the next however many hours?
Feels broken up.
Break that partnership up. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but that also could be the closing of their window, because I will remind people, who was the Finals MVP? It was Jaylen Brown. Lots still to get to in this hour. I will give a little bit of a palate cleanser. A lot of NBA. There's still a lot of NBA we haven't even talked about yet. A guy opting out of a deal to maybe lead to a bigger free agent signing. We could have a version of the Expendables coming to the NBA.
It's certainly with that. That was a big rumored thing of if player does this, other player might be doing this as a
you do the Windhorse. If that happens, do the Windhorse fingers. And we're doing the Windhorse fingers right now.
Oh, I don't even know if I'm pointing anymore. I think I bet it.
You think it's happening?
And I might be wrong on my prediction of where I thought one of those guys would land.
So we'll get to that at some point. And then the Blazers, I don't know if you know this, they made an assistant coach hiring, which I was told was going to be impossible. They wouldn't be able to do.
One official and one rumored.
Yeah, they were going to go get Lewis and Clark, JV basketball coaches, to be their assistants because nobody wants to work for a coach on a one-year deal. It's not how it works in the NBA.
How would he afford a staff?
They hired the assistant JV basketball coach at Clackamas High School over the weekend, so we'll talk about that coming up in an hour as they have started to build out the staff around Mike
What a promotion. JV at Clackamas High School to an assistant coach of the Blazers?
Nobody wants this job. I heard they interviewed you. I heard you were on the list.
I don't honestly think I'd be in today if they offered me the job.
If they offered you the job,
I'd have to take it.
I would slap you in the face for being here if they offered you the job. I'd say, "What are you doing here? Get out of here!"
Thank you, Odyssey.
Can I get access? What are you going to give me? Do I get like backstage passes?
If they didn't have a problem me doing interviews, I would absolutely do a weekly interview with you.
I can't get daily. You know, Daly's too big. You're too big for Daly now because you're an assistant coach for the Blazers.
Well, Daly. That'd be ridiculous.
How about after
in the midst of the Ducks Michigan series? We're gonna assistant coach Brandon Sprague. So Sprague, how's the season going?
How's the preseason, Brandon?
Well, as you know, Dirt, it's November. Season doesn't start till after the new year. But how's college football season going?
College football season going great, buddy. It's going great. Speaking of which, let's talk about that. I've had this in the notes for a while, and I thought, you know what? I knew today's show was going to be a lot of yelling about prospects and trade potential and who should they go get. And I thought, you know what? This would be a fun little palate cleanser. Do you gentlemen know we are only 9 more Saturdays away from the start of college football season?
9 sounds like a lot, but also not.
Right?
It's like a perfect number to say it's right around the corner while also going 9.
We had a
blink twice in its football season.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll happen. That's the way the summer usually goes, right? Like you start getting vacations. It's the 4th of July. Like you're just active and kids are in camp. You're running around everywhere and you look up and you're like, wait a minute. Huh?
4th of July is this week.
It's the 4th of July
Yeah.
week, dude. We're off on Friday. It's the holiday for the 4th of July because it's less than a week away. It's on Saturday.
Yeah.
Scott Hansen also tweeted yesterday, I will see you in 11 Sundays.
He's only got 11 more.
11 more Sundays available, and then he's going to be grinding and peeing in his pants, giving us 7 hours of somewhat commercial-free football.
When we get both at the same time, I can't even put it into words. Oh, my God. I get 7 hours of commercial-free football. And then can't stop it from coming. Saturday, just all day extravaganza from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. at night. Are you kidding me?
I think part of it for me this weekend was walking around in the weather that we had, that it was like, man, it feels like an October Saturday right now. Does it not? Like, it's a little chilly in the air. You kind of need a sweatshirt, maybe some pants in the morning if you're leaving the house.
I didn't find it to be chilly. I actually found it
chilly
to be kind
for
of
the time
nice.
of year. I found it delightful, but it felt like a early October Saturday morning where the cold hasn't fully hit yet.
It smelled like it.
You get that rain in the air.
Sniff.
Like, it feels like football season. So I thought, let's talk some football here. And I wanted to play a fun game with you. You know how we love remembering stuff and then making fun of each other down the road?
Are you going to tell me how to say duck in Japanese?
I am not going to tell you how to say duck in Japanese, but I did see some of the Japanese content of them in Japan. It looked pretty cool. Like they had a camp, or not camp, I guess camp will be the right word. They basically went through drills. The players that were there, they're wearing their jerseys, and a bunch of Japanese fans were surrounding the field and thought it was really cool. And they've also upped their entire Heisman campaign is Japanese themed, which is pretty funny for Dante Moore. Did you see the extended video they have of the duck looking up at the duck?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was great.
Phenomenal. And the Japanese actors that are in that, I'm assuming they're Japanese actors, I don't know, but they were great. The duck was next to Godzilla. It's a phenomenal Heisman campaign.
Dante Godzilla version should be a thing.
Yes.
Why have we not put his head on a Godzilla body?
It seems like the next move, right?
Overtaking the college football world this year seems like the obvious branding. Also, Japan, I want to say I have this right. I thought a Japanese team, didn't they come over here and play Southern Oregon?
Yes, for the national champion of Japan, I think.
So Japan has gotten into American football, so they thought, you know what, let's brand the hell out of this. And you get your players, I mean, Japan is a dream vacation for most Americans, and they're off for like 4 days to go visit Japan. That's a really cool thing for those players.
Yeah, so they come over and play in what is called the Mills Bowl in Southern Oregon.
That's right.
I'm sure Dusty will be hearing this and give us more details.
Well, I remember seeing the highlights of it a couple years ago.
Because it happens like in the middle of the summer, if I'm not wrong. So it's like, hey, look at that. They're playing football right now. That's kind of interesting. And it's named after the former and legacy of the former Southern Oregon head coach, Chuck Mills. They call it the Mills Bowl. So it's kind of a thing, a cool thing that happens. I got overs and unders for you from the Big Ten and the SEC, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like for both of you, fine gentlemen, I'm going to write these down. We're going to noodle on them.
Okay.
And then we will make fun of each other or praise each other, depending on how it goes, of your favorite over and your favorite under from each conference. I'm not going to ask you to do every team. That's ludicrous. That's way too much. But just when I throw the numbers at you, I want you to think of, ooh, that's definitely going over, or ooh, that's definitely going under. So we can start.
I don't know half the rosters yet.
Yeah, you do. Come on, don't sell yourself short. You know what comes out this weekend? Yeah.
College Football 27.
You're damn right it does. You're damn right it does.
I am on the cusp.
Are you getting a PS5?
Getting a PS5.
Let's go, baby.
That sounds so sweet.
Let's go, baby.
So sweet.
Are you going to do Road to Glory first, or are you going to do a Dynasty?
Right.
What are you going to do? You going to put the towels on your guys' pants? Here are your over-unders in the SEC, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? There is not a single team in the SEC with a double-digit win total.
How dare you talk about the SEC over-unders when Oregon State landed a 3-star quarterback?
Oh, we'll get to it. Don't you worry. We got our recruiting news in the notes
Okay, bring
today.
on the SEC over-unders.
I'm going to go rapidly through.
Right.
Here we go. Georgia, Texas, 9.5.
Oh, they're tied at 9.5?
Tied at 9.5. Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, 8.5. Okay?
Boy, they think that conference is really difficult.
Meat grinder. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Florida, 7.5.
I love one of those
We
teams.
got a big love already. We have Missouri, Auburn, and South Carolina at 6.5.
I love one of those teams.
Clark Lee and Vanderbilt. Are they starting the freshman? I'll be curious. The number one quarterback. If he plays right away, they're 5.5.
That doesn't usually go well.
Does not usually. Will Stein in Kentucky in year one, 4.5 over under. Also tied with Mississippi State and Arkansas. Those are your over unders in the SEC. Who do we love for an over? Who do we love for an under?
Well, first,
yeah, Will Stein will help you shine.
I'll take the over of Kentucky.
You're going to take the over of Kentucky?
5 wins.
Yeah.
They portaled a lot.
They did
recruiting
portal a lot.
pretty well. I'll take a over 5. What's their non-conference?
Let's pull up Kentucky's schedule, Bob.
Well, you don't actually need to do that.
Oh, don't you worry.
I assume
will.
there's a Patsy in there or two.
I'm assuming they're playing nobody.
So there's just half of what you need. Then you get an upset win in the SEC at some point. Multiple teams are going to absolutely be worse than you think.
Yes, happens every year.
So I'll bet the over of that. You said Florida's was 7.5?
Florida's was 7.5.
I will bet the over of Florida.
Ooh.
Year one, John Summerall. I'm a believer in that dude. I like it. I think he goes in there. I think they win 8 or more.
Wow. That would be a great year one for Summerall in Florida.
Is Alabama in the 7.5?
Alabama was 8.5.
I'll bet 8.5 over Alabama.
We're liking overs in the SEC. We're just big overs guy here, Sprague.
I'll take the over of 6.5 with Auburn.
Wow. Okay.
I think the Brown kid with his coach is going to do
You're making a lot of bets right now. I got to
damage
keep up.
in the SEC.
Over of Auburn.
Well,
you got to mix. You got to balance it and give me an under you like. I just wanted one. You're giving me more.
Well, the problem is you threw them all at me, and I can't memorize all of them.
So 9.5 Georgia, Texas, 8.5.
Okay, let me start there.
Yeah.
Let's just go 2 at a time. Don't give me like 7.
Okay, 2 at a time. 9.5 Georgia, Texas.
Texas over, and if they're not, they should fire Sark. That's as low a roster as he's ever had.
Have you seen their schedule?
I don't care.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Have you seen the roster?
It's very
At what
good.
point does the roster become greater than the schedule being harder?
For the most part, I agree with you. Playing Ohio State in non-conference changes that a little bit for me because that's as tough of a non-conference game that exists.
But they damn near beat them, and Arch was doing nothing in that game.
Absolutely,
and
did.
now it's in Austin. So
and I would say Julian Sayin did nothing in that game.
That's
and
fair.
You go each way with that one.
But at their high end, I think Arch is better than Julian Sayin. So I will take Texas beating Ohio State over Mr. 99 himself, Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
I'll take the over for Texas. I'll take the under of Georgia, but I think they go 9-3.
Ooh.
So I will take the under of Georgia. There's an under for you.
Okay.
And then what were your 8.5s?
I mean, that's it. You've given me enough. I was just looking for one. You've gone through the whole conference. You've given me extra credit. I'm going to give you an A+ on the assignment. This is pretty solid. Is there one of those overs that you like the most? Who is your most likable over? You gave me Kentucky 4.5, Florida 7.5, Bama 8.5, Auburn 6.5, and Texas 9.5.
I'll probably take Auburn over.
Auburn over is your favorite of the overs.
Yeah, because 7 and 5 seems feasible. I like that. What's his last name? Alex what? Is it Grint? No, it's not Grint.
Golish.
Golish, thank you.
Golish. And Byron Brown?
Byron Brown, yeah. I think he's the real deal if he can stay healthy. And then Florida would be my close second.
Okay. What about non-Booger Brandon? Do you have an over you or an under you like the most?
I'm still a little overwhelmed with all of those over-unders that
throwing them at you, baby.
Dirt just throws the whole conference at you, and you're like, wait a minute, I can't process.
You got to be like Keanu Reeves in the Matrix.
1 and 1, not 6 and 6. I like 2 overs. I like Georgia over.
Over.
I just think Kirby's just got that train rolling. I think they can get 10 wins.
Yep.
I like
Speaking, by the way, of Gunnar Stockton, he's one of the few players who is not in the game. He did not opt into the game.
Interesting.
Why would you not opt into the game?
I don't
You're
know.
Gunnar Stockton.
I don't know. You're the starting quarterback at Georgia.
Don't they get like $400 or $600 for doing it?
I mean, it's not a lot of money. It's
not
mostly
a lot,
the vanity
but
of
it's
it.
more money.
That's
to have you in the
What do
game.
you mean?
Maybe he's not a video game guy.
Maybe he's not.
But what does that matter with opting into the game to get money?
Maybe he's so out of touch with electricity that he was like out on a hunting trip and missed the emails in the offseason and was like,
possible.
wait, what? I'm back. I can't be in the game. So that could have been it, too.
Yeah. My other favorite, I'm going to go Missouri over.
Ooh, you Drinkwitz guy, huh?
I think they can continue the slow progression that
What's
they
their number?
are trending up.
6.5. 6.5
Oh,
for Missouri.
I'll take the over on Missouri as well. That
throw
doesn't
that one in
seem
there?
kind of low for him.
It
You may not
seems
think
low.
he's elite, but he's been pretty good there.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been better than 7-5. They're
Yeah.
replacing a lot, new starting quarterback, so there's some moving pieces there, but
Well, I didn't like their quarterback last year.
neither did I. He cost them the Alabama game.
Yeah,
Do you
he
like?
did.
Do you have an under you like?
My under pick would be Florida under 7.5.
Oh, we have a
I think there was
correlation.
too much turnover in this offseason that they can slate together 8
Okay,
wins.
all right, that's pretty solid. I like that. I'm going to give you a couple that my favorite over in the entire conference. It's interesting because a lot of the numbers are relatively low, and that makes it a little more difficult to compute. The one that I don't understand when I look at it because of the season they had and because of who they're returning. And again, maybe I don't know. Maybe we're playing the schedule game here. I'm not fearful of the game. Oklahoma's the one that I look at and I don't get.
You can't play the schedule game with the over-unders. You got to play the game of gut.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't
gut,
know, 90%
Sure.
of these schedules.
Some teams might end up being
blind.
bad. But no, the point.
What's Oklahoma's?
You brought up Oklahoma's over-under is 7.5.
That's
They won 9 games last year. They were in the playoff. The reason I bring that up because you mentioned Texas, and I said, have you seen the schedule? They play Ohio State non-conference.
Yeah.
So that, dude, when you have a game like that, that dictates your over/under. If you beat Ohio State in week 2, you're a lock to hit the over of 9.5. You're not losing 3 conference games.
Yeah.
It's a challenging schedule. But as we were shown last year, that you could lose that game and then trip up twice in conference, and that's a 9-3 season. That's how the under hits.
Yep.
They go to Michigan in week 2. It's an interesting matchup. I don't know what to make of Michigan this year. Are they going to have good quarterback play? Do you know who's returning for Oklahoma?
Yeah.
John Mateer.
Yep.
A guy who was in the running of Heisman campaigns until he, snapped his thumb in half, and he just did an interview over the weekend I saw talking about how difficult it was for him to throw the football. You got to go to Georgia. You have Texas on the schedule, like A&M at the end of the season at home. So I'm not saying it's not challenging. That was just the one that stood out to me of that was a playoff team last year, and one of the biggest metrics in terms of analyzing success in college football is, do you have an experienced and returning starting quarterback? It's not the end-all, be-all for everybody. That one was confusing to me of how is that 7.5. So when I looked at them, that was the first one that jumped out to me. I love the over of Oklahoma at 7.5. The under that I love, and I'm going to go the opposite direction of you and be on the side of non-Booger Brandon, the under of Florida I love. that one, year 1, new starting quarterback. I'm rooting for
But it's a new system, right?
It's a new system.
It'd be a new year for Lagway if he would have stayed.
If he would have, no doubt.
Playbook.
It's just a lot of new pieces, a lot of moving pieces, and that was one that I'm just, we'll see. I think Summerall will get them there. I just don't think it'll necessarily happen in year 1.
Somebody eventually
is going to win at Florida.
Has to hit at Florida.
At some point, it's going to happen.
Is it Dan Lanning in 3 years? I mean, some might be saying, but
how dare you?
If it's not Dan Lanning, somebody has to do it.
How dare you?
I didn't feel as great about...
He did a new TikTok with recruits, by the way, over the weekend. Did you see that?
Lanning?
Yeah.
Well, he was pretty excited about the 4-star tight end they got.
Yeah, I don't think he
Cartwright.
filmed it over the weekend, but there was a video of 2 recruits dancing, and then they walk up to the phone and they press the reverse camera.
Yeah.
So it flips around and it
yeah.
shows Dan Lanning filming, making a funny face.
You had the kid jump on the McAfee show, and then did you see the behind the scenes? He made him do the TikTok thing.
I did see that.
So I've noted this. So my one recruit for Oregon plays in our backyard in Clackamas.
Friend of the family.
Friend of the family. And he's going to be a 4-star really soon. He's like 3.99, whatever metrics
One of
they
those
use.
late bloomers that's going to
stupid.
rise up the rankings.
When the season starts to be a 4-star. Anyways, he's at my nephew's house all the time. And we're just sitting there, and I look over in the living room, and it's him and it's another kid who's going to be an absolute stud recruit playing for Nelson. And they have the camera on the mantle. We're all in the way back, and they're like orchestrating their TikToks and their smells and their like straps, and And I'm just like, what are you doing?
What are you doing over there?
And my nephew's like, they're doing a TikTok. And I'm like, just in a living room?
It's right there.
This is just what they do? And he's like,
what
that's what they do.
When you do a
They're just doing the dances. It's him and the teammate. They're just doing TikTok dances. And I'm like, what is this for? Just for fun? Is this fun to you?
Have you guys ever done a TikTok before?
No.
No.
Never had a TikTok account. I've only been on TikTok once, and it was before TikTok made you get the app to watch the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now when you click a TikTok, it takes you to the app store if you don't have it. And I'm like, nope.
I don't
just
ever.
put haha.
Yeah.
I just assume it's funny. I'm never going to watch it.
Drives me nuts when people send me TikToks for that reason. Because you click, I won't pay attention at first. You click on it, you're like, no, I don't know. Get out of here. I don't want
Screen record it. Send me the screen recording because I've told people, everybody that sends me one, I'm like, I don't have TikTok. I never will get a TikTok.
I'm not going to watch that. Now, when you do a TikTok dance, can you hear the music?
I believe that's. Yeah, I believe
right.
That's the case.
Like you can hear the sound of what you're dancing to.
I couldn't hear their music when they.
Because that was
it.
going to be my question of are you like trying to
like sync up with the song?
It up with the song, which seems like it'd be challenging.
I just think nowadays they got specific TikTok dances that don't go with songs too, that they just add their own songs.
Yes,
that's how I assume it goes.
So there's some over-unders in the SEC. We did have some nice recruiting news over the weekend for Oregon and Oregon State. I want to talk about that on the other side. Also, an NFL team doing something that. What took you so long?
Well, and also saw it coming.
Pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that. A couple more football nuggies and some over-unders in the Big Ten. Off and running here in hour number 3. Keeping our eye on the trade banter in the NBA. We'll let you know if anything else breaks there. Back after this, 105.1 FM The Fan. Well,
George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, your Portland Fire were in an instant classic yesterday against the Washington Mystics, the second game in WNBA history to go 4 overtimes. Unfortunately, the Fire came up short, losing 124-123. Carla Late with a career-high 32 points, tying the single-game franchise record. The World Cup knockout rounds got underway yesterday in dramatic fashion. Canada scored 2 minutes in the second half stoppage time to edge South Africa 1-0 and advance to the round of 16 for the first time ever. 3 more round of 32 matches today. Brazil takes on Japan at 10, Germany faces Paraguay at 1:30, and Netherlands battles Morocco at 6. To the NBA, the Hornets are trading forward Miles Bridges, a future first-round pick and future second-round pick, to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a future first-round pick. The Clippers and Raptors are engaged in serious trade talks for All-NBA forward Kawhi Leonard, and Draymond Green is declining his $27.7 million player option with the Warriors to become a free agent. This gives Golden State the flexibility to potentially pursue LeBron James in free agency and Anthony Davis via trade. And in golf, after a rain-delayed final round at the Travelers Championship, Scottie Scheffler and Victor Hovland finished tied for the lead at 21 under. Hovland won the sudden death playoff this morning. He made birdie on the first hole while Scheffler missed a short birdie putt. I'm Brendan Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fans.
Hey, welcome back in. Got some more football stuff to get to. The Blazers, despite what some people said, were able to hire assistant coaches this weekend.
What? Ha! I was told they wouldn't be able to afford it. There's no way.
We'll tell you who they are, and the staff is starting to shake out a little bit from Micah Nori. We got a ton of other NBA notes to get into, including an Expendables roster that might be coming to a court near you in the relatively near future. So all that's still to come here. In the mix, though, of a palate cleanser, talking some football, and we did over-unders in the SEC. Let's quickly go through the Big Ten ones. It's interesting in the Big Ten. You didn't have any in the SEC with double-digit over-unders. You have 2 in the Big Ten. And it is not Ohio State. Ohio State's over-under this year is 9.5.
It's got to be Oregon, Indiana.
It is Oregon and Indiana at 10.5. And again, I think for Ohio State, it's the idea of playing the Texas non-conference game. So Indiana and Oregon are both at 10.5. Ohio State at 9.5. And then just like the SEC, we don't have to go all the way down to the bottom if you don't want to. If you want a specific team, I'll give it to you. But the other ones who are above bowl eligibility, Penn State, because largely their schedule, Michigan and USC are your next, grouping of teams at 8.5 over under. You then have 3 at 7.5 of Washington, Iowa, and Illinois. And then last but not least, your 6.5s are Wisconsin, UCLA, Nebraska, and Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who is an over or an under that we love out of the Big Ten?
Well, I've already forgot half of the ones you said because you rattled off too many. I'm going to take the over of UCLA.
You like the over of UCLA? Okay.
At the number you said?
The number I said was 6.5. 7-5 season for UCLA.
7-5 UCLA, much like Summerall at Texas. Big believer in Chesney at UCLA. I think that dude can coach.
Yes.
I am going to take the over of Oregon.
You get 11-1 this year.
11-1. I'm going to take the under of Indiana. I think 10-2.
Ooh.
Oh.
Fall back to graces. Huh?
Oh, God. They lost.
Welcome back to reality, Indiana.
I will take the over of Ohio State at 9.5.
If you love their chances to beat Texas or like their chances, I mean, that's the same thing with, as I said, with Texas in the last second. If they win that game, the over's a lock.
Well, I just think they can lose to Texas and Oregon, and you still hit.
Absolutely.
Be 10-2. So.
But if you win that game, you are guaranteed to hit your over because they ain't losing 3 Big Ten games.
What's Michigan's?
Michigan is 8.5.
I'm going to take the under and say they go 8-4.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a combination of multiple quarterbacks.
That's all you need. That's good.
Well, I'm just kind of curious about Underwood.
Yeah.
I think he's a fascinating player. You mentioned Vanderbilt, and not that we need to dive into the depth charts of these teams.
Who's going to play? Young guys playing.
It's a real thing to me, man. What is the real strong evidence? How much evidence do we have of the 5-star number 1 quarterback getting the start day 1 at college and it going swimmingly? Largely feels like it goes the other way, right? The vast majority of the time.
Yeah, you got Trevor Lawrence out there was one. I think he redshirted
I don't think
a year.
He started day 1 though.
No, but in terms of a guy who came in and was like dynamite from the get-go.
Yeah, I'm like the 5-star.
Day
number
1 starter.
Day 1, how that goes. So
I'm sure there's one that a listener will throw at us, but as I'm trying to scroll through the top of my head, there's not a lot of names out there that are hitting in my mind.
I'm not the biggest believer in it, and the reports out of the spring game is that Underwood did not look very good.
Yeah.
They like that other kid. I think I forget. Is it Lloyd?
I think it's Lloyd. I think it's
It's Lloyd Carr's
it's the
grandson,
other car.
right? It's the other car.
Yes.
They really like him, so I think they're going to play a little bit of a quarterback back and forth. What's UW's?
UW is 7.5. USC is 8.5.
I'm hammering UW over.
Over UW.
Yeah, I'll hammer that. I think they're minimum 8-4 this year.
Not worried about their hostage quarterback?
He blinked twice. He's back.
Will we get a negotiator halfway through the season to get him free from his hostage situation?
Was he momentarily in the portal matrix? Absolutely he was. I think he's back, and I think overall they can navigate to an 8-4 better
7-5 for UW is confusing. Like they have
That'd be a massively disappointing season.
It would be a hugely disappointing season. I understand that there's a lot to replace on the offensive side of the ball. I know their corners are gone. Like there's key pieces there, but when I look at Washington's schedule, I don't. I mean, you got to go to Oregon, obviously, at the end of the year. I don't see them losing a game in non-conference. Like, you can't lose to the Cougs, Utah State, or Eastern Washington. So there's 3 wins. And there's at USC, there's Penn State, maybe they're good. It's at Nebraska. Like, if you lose more than 4 games with the schedule you have, considering you got 3 easily winnable games in non-conference, that's an absolute disaster for you. So I would also take the over there. USC is more interesting to me because of how difficult their schedule is.
Yep.
And then being at 8.5, like they have a more challenging pathway through the Big Ten this year. I'll get non-Booger Brandon's thoughts here in a moment. I will reiterate, though, what you said. The first one that jumped out to me from an under was Michigan. Just right out of the gate. I think they're going to lose to Oklahoma in non-conference, and then you basically got to only lose 3 conference games the rest of the way. I don't see that happening with their quarterback play this year.
Are we underselling Whittingham a little bit?
I mean, I don't mean to, because I certainly think he's a good coach, but what did Utah do when their quarterbacks were bad in the last handful of seasons, right? When their starter would go down, they were horrendous. And so I don't think they have a good quarterback play. Maybe Carr ends up proving a lot of people wrong. I'm hammering the under of Michigan. Non-Booger Brandon, you got any you like in there?
I'm kind of along the lines of you guys. Ohio State over, I like. Washington over, I like. Michigan under, that's just personal.
Yeah.
What was my other 2 unders?
Wait, why is that personal?
Because it's Whittingham and Utah, and I'm BYU Brandon, so no thank you.
Even at Michigan, he's gone?
By the way,
he's a BYU alum.
I know he is, but the red is still tainted on him for now.
He went
maybe
blue.
Maybe if he's bleeding in the blue just a little bit more, then maybe I'll come around. But at this point, no, sir.
His post-coaching career is going to be interesting because that's like sometimes you go back to the place you're a player, and there's a lot of former Oregon players who stick around the program, but he coached at the biggest rival forever, and he's more known as the coach of Utah than he is at BYU.
But it's a Jonathan Smith thing. He had an opportunity. I was talking about this with Mike Hass at the golf tournament of like the Jonathan Smith narratives with Oregon State fans. And it's not going to make sense to people who just bleed the fandom. These are 2 different worlds. There is the experience that they had as a student athlete.
Yes.
And always going to love their time there and what it meant. They're in a business now. It may not make sense to everybody because you get people who want to go to the alma mater, want to stay at the alma mater, all of that. A lot of other guys don't have that luxury. So you can hate it and never change your mind about it. The reality is a lot of coaches live in 2 different worlds. There is, I love my alma mater, but also I'm trying to be a great head coach.
Yeah.
So BYU Brandon hates Kyle Whittingham. I get it. The Holy War is an underrated rivalry in football. But also, he had an awesome opportunity to stay in Utah, the state he loves.
Yes.
And coach a really good program.
How dare you approach this rationally? How dare you?
That was nice.
How dare you?
Still not going to my other 2 unders, USC under.
Bro, I really don't care.
I gave you one of these. USC under for BYU
USC
Brandon.
under. The time is not now, Lincoln. Get over it.
What is their over-under?
They are 8.5. It's a fascinating number.
Boy, you go 8-4.
If you go 8-4 in year 5, you know who you
I'm
will
taking the over.
never hear the end of it from. This guy.
And
I'm
then
taking the over.
My last
like
under
the over?
would be Minnesota under.
Oh, that's a random one to throw out.
You
Okay.
bet against rowing the boat. What do you
6.5.
hate rowing the boat?
Boat's got a crack in it.
Your stupid ass.
The over-under, I'm going to give you the under I like the most is Michigan. That was the first one that stood out to me when I saw it. I'm just like, I don't see it with your quarterback play. I like the under there. The over I will go with.
I like Ohio State over probably the most.
Ohio State over is definitely
10
a good
and 2?
one. Yeah, I mean if I were betting, if you asked me to bet it, I would bet the Ohio State over. I certainly don't see them going 9-3 this year. I would be pretty surprised. But when was the last time Ohio State had a 9-3 season?
Ooh, was it the 6-6 Fickle season?
The point being, it's been a minute for them, right?
Fickle? Let's look that up.
Even a couple of years ago when they lost to Michigan in the regular season in Oregon, they were 10-2, and then they went on to win the national championship. Like 9-3s don't. They might get to a third loss by the time you get to a Big Ten championship game, or you get to a bowl game.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, that was.
You got to look at regular season.
It was Fickle.
The year they were 6-6.
Because outside of the COVID year, which is the one that jumped out, because I'm like, wait, no, that's COVID. Yeah, every other year it's 10 or better.
10 or better, 10-2 or 11-1 or 12-0
yeah, they haven't
every
been
single year.
sub 10 wins since 2011.
Doesn't happen very often. So I would be shocked. The other over I'm going to take is just like who's Mr. Reliable in the Big Ten. You know what they're going to look like.
Dan Lanning?
You know how. Well, that is true. Thank you. I opened you up for that and you slam dunked it, but that's not the answer I'm looking for.
But it's true.
It is very true. He's been very good. It's Iowa. Every year.
What's
every
the
year.
7.5?
Iowa over under is 7.5. I'm hammering it. They're going to go 8-4.
Punts.
You know that they will.
Punts.
They're going to play defense.
Punts.
They won't throw the football. Yeah. They're going to win gritty cold weather games.
Hide 'em up, Sikorsky.
Yes,
Yep.
It's Iowa. They also
Ready.
Iowa State is their big non-conference game. Who's going to suck this year because they lost to everybody? Iowa State. That was at least a competitive matchup the last handful of years, and maybe it gets back to being that.
Yeah.
Iowa State's replacing their entire roster this season, so
That's good
thank you. I will take Iowa over of 7.5. That's my favorite over in the Big Ten. Any other college football takes we got to get to?
Just a rare, great weekend for both local fan bases. Oregon State is, I don't know if crushing it's the right term because
For
some of the star
level.
ranking stuff, but
Yes.
yeah, for a new coaching staff to come in here,
Yes.
to build buzz, to be coaching or recruiting out of state, they were the running for a quarterback. Say what you want about the star ranking. Michigan wanted this kid.
Yep.
And Oregon State landed him. So the recruiting down in Corvallis seems to be off to such a much better start than the last regime. And Oregon continues to just dominate recruiting. They got the 4-star tight end, Cartwright. Lanning posted a video how stoked he was about getting the kid. A nice little weekend for both fan bases to be super happy and excited with only 9 more Saturdays left.
Yeah, for the Oregon side, it was great to see him go back, and they already signed the number 1 player out of Michigan. Not signed, but verbal commitment from the number 1 player in Michigan. So to go back into Big Ten territory and do it again, like that's, I'm sure, not great news for Michigan State or Michigan fans.
You got to change the term as much as it's funny to say. Like, they are Big Ten territory now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's
like
all Big Ten
to go
territory.
into another, to steal those kids out of the state of Michigan. It's
Yeah.
just always nice to see. And then for Oregon State, one, I thought it was great. Like Nimick had a good write-up on it in terms of the kid, why he committed, and it being mainly about the coaching staff and the culture that they're building that he's just kind of falling in love with.
Yep.
That's music to the ears of Oregon State fans. Also, his name is Thaddeus Thatcher.
I know.
Thaddeus Thatcher.
Debatably, not a better. It's the best name
Dude.
they've recruited since Storm Woods.
That is such a good name.
It's a great name.
Thaddeus Thatcher?
Is Thaddeus Thatcher the name of a great starting quarterback?
Does he go
in
by
college
Thad Thatcher? Does he go by full Thaddeus?
Would you go by Thad? I'd go by Thaddeus.
You would want it the full Thaddeus?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You always want to go full Thaddeus.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. We're still debating kid number 2 names. We have not settled
Thaddeus
yet.
is a good one.
I saw that recruiting news over the weekend, and I thought to myself, dude, Theodore and Thaddeus?
What about Atticus?
I can't go Atticus.
He won you a game in Iowa.
I'm not rich enough.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a certain tax bracket you have to be in
I
to
think
name
a
your kid
Thaddeus and a
Atticus.
Wyatt are also very rich sounding.
You think Thaddeus is rich sounding, huh?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
What is he? Thaddeus Thatcher the second?
Is he the second?
I don't
didn't see a
know.
second.
There's got to be
I don't know if there's
some
another one in there.
numerals after that Thatcher.
Could be a couple of numerals in there.
Well, that Thaddeus Thatcher's not a name I think you just come up with. That has to be a family name, does it not?
Thaddeus Thatcher is a hell of a name, man.
Well, it's funny thing is about Oregon State, I'll say quickly.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, we heard that at a local camp, Shepherd was running drills because it was a Northwest showcase type deal.
Yeah.
And there's players who are going to get recruited, and there's players that will never play at that level of college football. And Shepherd was heard audibly dropping MFers in front of parents. And we were told the parents were just aghast. They're
a little taken aback. What?
And my thinking is like, I don't care. I actually love to hear that. You know how many showcases I heard the last coach didn't even talk?
Yeah, I just stood in the corner.
And this dude's running drills. He's doing Oklahoma drills. He's dropping MF. He's establishing such a louder, different presence. It's not going to be for everybody. It's going to turn some parents off. That's fine. He's building something. Look at the recruiting results so far. They speak for themselves. So I just think it's nice to see some refreshed, good new energy down at Corvallis.
Yeah. I'm going to put my NFL stuff to the final hour. Interesting news for two different reasons around one team. We can kick that to the final hour. A bit of a tandem of local news over the weekend. RIP to this institution. I will remember you.
Oh, man. It's felt dead, too. I drive by it every day.
It has not felt alive for a while.
I'd like to say that about the city this weekend, by the way. I was downtown.
Not a lot going on?
Woof.
Weather didn't help for sure.
No, lease. A
lot of building openings.
Closed.
Maybe this company could move into one of those places if they're looking for a new location.
It's a little depressing.
I got some ideas for them. Also, what do you do if this happens to you? That's next on The Fan. Fun to yell about college football for a moment. God, I miss you. Please, come back to me.
Were we yelling about college football?
No, I just like saying that.
Shout out the Hoggies.
We love you, Hoggies. We'll see you soon. 9 more Saturdays until the sport kicks off. We will keep our eye on the trade market in the NBA. We'll dive back into the NBA, including one move and what does it mean for an organization and who they're trying to go after. We had assistant coaches hired in Portland. All of that is to come at the top of the hour. But a bit of local news to discuss and digest over the weekend here for us locally. Now, this is always I actually got, I think this was Saturday. Was it Saturday?
Saturday.
Yeah, this happened Saturday.
The golf club one?
So I actually got invited to go play golf on Saturday, and I'm looking at the weather, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. It's that time of year. Like, I'm willing to play in the rain in, like, late March, early April, because you got the itch and you're ready to get out there.
I have no interest in the rain, man.
This time of year, I'm out, dude. It's going to be nice next weekend. I'll get around the 4th of July. Like, I'm not in any sense of urgency, so I turned the round down. And then I see the news that over the weekend on Saturday at Oregon Golf Club, there was a golfer who was struck by lightning while playing a round of golf. This made kind of local and regional news. He was out by himself on the course, outside of his golf cart.
Crazy.
The storm quickly rolls in.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I guess an hour later, there was a funnel cloud near Malala. I did not see that over the weekend.
Oh, it got pretty wicked on Saturday, dude. The house I was at was shaking with the thunder.
That's wild. Funnel cloud would make me pee in my pants. So would a strike of lightning that close, let alone hitting somebody. He was struck by the lightning. He eventually regained consciousness, and then he called for help. The odds of making a hole-in-one on a golf course are about 1 in 12,500. The odds of being struck by lightning is less than 1 in a million. So,
well, what's it in Oregon?
Even more so than what,
the odds have to be increased because we don't get that much lightning.
If you're living in the plains of Nebraska or Missouri, you're going to have a higher chance of having some funnel clouds and some thunderstorms. But if you're living in Portland, Oregon, it doesn't happen.
Man.
Dude, shout out to this guy for one being alive. That's pretty badass. And also now being able to tell, like, shout out for living, dude. That's kick ass. To imagine walking around telling people you survived a lightning strike.
Well, the thing about like being hit, knocked out, then just waking up.
Where did it hit him?
I don't know.
Does it impact the survival rate? Like, I'm assuming if it hits you on the top of the head, you're probably not making it.
Didn't the joke in Twister is you're supposed to, like, bend over and put your butt in the air? It's the safest Orpheus for the lightning to strike. Am I wrong on that? Did you not watch Twister? Am I the only one who watched Twister here?
I don't remember
Don't
that
they joke about that when they're eating the steak and eggs?
I don't know.
You're supposed to bend over and grab your butt, put your butt in the air?
I'm a Closet Artist Gilmore fan.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'm
bend
wrong.
over and spread them out?
I heard that's the safest Orpheus, but maybe this guy's proven wrong. It's more safe than the Titleist hat.
Next time I'm in on a golf course and it's lightning on me, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull my pants down and get down on all fours.
So this is a pretty famous club he's golfing at,
yes,
right?
Oregon Golf Club. We played there many a times.
My wife did ask the question, are they legally, like, do you sign away a right of you get struck by lightning? That can't be that's not the golf club's fault.
That's a good question. No, I don't think it's the golf club's fault. They try and do the best that they can, I think, everywhere you play of, like, if there's inclement weather, they will, like, nobody's going out, or if there's thunderstorms in the area, we're shutting it down. This one...
that's not... Okay, so I don't want to name the course because I'm not trying to get anybody. My wife just asked me, so I was like, well, I've never thought about that.
Yeah. Who's liable for this?
I had two buddies playing a birthday round at another course not far from where we're at right now, and they shot me video. It dumped. About the time this guy probably got struck.
Right.
It was dumping.
Rain?
And, like, you could hear the thunder. There wasn't anybody on that course telling him to stop.
Nobody.
You got to make your own choices out there, but...
Yeah, you're kind of out on your own at that point.
I don't think it's the PGA Tour. There's a big horn going off.
If I chose to play golf knowing that weather was going to be dangerous in the area and I got struck, like, I'm not suing you. That was my decision.
Well, I hope he doesn't.
Right. I would, too. And I would hope the family wouldn't if something would have happened to him. A lot of follow-up questions here. Like, did it zap him in the foot? Did it hit him in the knee? Can it hit you in one spot? I want to know who this guy
is. I kind of want to talk to him.
Does it land? Does it hit
Can we get this person on the station?
When you say struck by lightning, do you mean it, like, literally struck your body? Or was there, like...
Body or the golf club?
A golf club?
Or the golf cart?
Was it 5 feet away from you and you, like, felt the current through the ground?
Maybe it hit the tree, so you're by the tree because you can't hit a straight shot to save your life.
I got a lot of follow-ups here.
I do, too.
I want this guy to do an interview. I need it.
Was it the great outdoors? Literally struck him in the head all the way down. Now he's got a white streak in his hair. Like,
right.
I have a lot of questions here.
Also, follow-up, if you were to get struck by lightning,
Yeah.
would you get a lightning bolt tattooed on your body?
And I survived?
And you survived, because I think I would.
I'd also tell people I'm the Flash.
Where'd I go?
No, you're not. What do you mean? I just went to the bathroom.
Yeah, you didn't even notice, did you?
So I do that all the time.
That happened over the weekend. Shout out to that guy for living. That's a pretty badass story.
What was his score, too? What if he was on track for like an all-time low score?
Yes, it's the Caddyshack moment.
And the golf gods
The Lord would never strike me down in the middle of my best round. And then you're gone.
But if you come back with the ability to call the club, are you not going,
let's ask this.
I'm 2 holes away from the club. I'm going to finish out.
Let me ask you this.
Then get checked out medically.
You both are golfers. You both got the itch. You both love playing golf.
Yes.
What's the best score you've ever had in your life through like 12 holes?
+2.
+2?
And I don't want to tell you what I finished with, but +2.
You can leave it there. +2. BYU, Brandon?
I believe I was 1 under.
1 under through 12.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is the round of golf you're experiencing.
Oh.
You get struck by lightning on the 13th tee box. You're 1 under. You're 2 over. Do you then think to yourself, because you're not going to do it in the moment, the guy had to go to the hospital, he was unconscious, we're going to joke about that, not going to happen?
Right.
Would you try and say, can I finish my round at a later date?
No. No. There's no carryover.
No carryover. Round's over at that point?
Okay, so I use the grint.
Yeah.
What am I doing on the grint?
Save for later.
There's not a save for later button.
Go back and remember your scores and re-enter them the next time you play, but start on the 13th hole. Would that be a legitimate round? It's not like you walked off the course on your own volition.
If I told you I did that, what would you say?
I would allow it. I don't care that much about your handicap. You had a chance for a PR and you got struck by lightning. By all means, roll the dice, dude.
But what if I didn't record it because my score went to crap? I lost that ability.
If you're only 2 over and then you go to crap, you're still probably shooting somewhat decent in terms of your overall scores, right? Like, you could end up with an 85. That's still not a bad score for you.
I have so many questions of this guy. Maybe he's a stick. Maybe he's like a 2 handicap.
Yeah, he's 3 under through 9. Like, I'm not turning around now. Are you kidding me?
Well, I say this as somebody never been struck by lightning, thank God. Like, I just think if you have an ability to call and just drive back nonchalant to the club. Like,
did he drive himself back, or I didn't see the report, or did somebody come scoop him up off the ground?
I thought I read that he drove back, but maybe somebody came out to get him.
He had to alert them because he was playing. That's terrifying, too. Like, you're by yourself. It's one thing if somebody's around you and you get struck by lightning.
Have you even been electrocuted in any way? Like that little
I've had a little shock every once in a while.
It's awful.
It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
Not a good
feeling.
So
I can't imagine you wake up after having lightning hit you.
Right.
In your head or your butt, and you're just like wanting to continue to play golf.
I'd take one there. And then last but not least in local news, RIP to our longtime friend, a companion we've known for years. According to the Oregonian, it appears, drip, 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 that the Acropolis is going to be closing sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Well, it's looked closed.
I mean, it's been, there's not a lot going on there. It's been on the brink of selling and closing for quite some time, and they wrote this weekend, after 50 years in Portland, family-owned Acropolis and their steakhouse. God, those steak bites and garlic bread hit every time.
God bless the beaver.
It's R.I.P. R.I.P. to a Portland institution.
Gone down in its prime.
Couldn't get Giannis in the market.
No.
Acropolis, boycott. We're done.
Well, I had heard a report because they were trying to sell. They were back on the property taxes. They weren't making it up, but they told employees they weren't going to close until they had a buyer. They haven't had a buyer. They're selling it for like $2 million.
That's all it's taken.
And then someone's like, "Yeah, I don't think this is going to be open by Monday."
I don't think
it's just done.
It's just not happening.
Who knew that the last time I was at the A-Crop was going to be the last time I would ever have the steak bites, garlic bread, and show?
They should open for one more time. Like they tore down my high school a couple weeks ago, or at least started to. They did like a one more night to come walk through the hallways. Can we get that at the A-Crop for all the old ones who don't get to go very often and remember our days at the A-Crop fondly from, a long, long time ago? One more night. One more last hurrah. That's what I asked for, Acropolis.
If you did do one more night and you announced it and everybody knew about it in our area.
One final goodbye.
Boy, those dancers are making a ton of money that night.
How many steak bites am I eating? A lot of steak bites is the answer.
Yeah.
They're good.
How many little cat fights you got about who's getting what stage time, too?
Main stage.
Yeah.
Come on down to the main stage. R.I.P. to the Acropolis, an institution for 50 years.
I haven't been there in years.
It's been, years.
I think it... Oh.
We got a lot to get to in the final hour of the show.
You going there randomly on a Thursday?
We'll get back into the afternoon crowd's pretty solid. We'll get back into the NBA. One player making a decision. What does it mean for their team? The latest on the Blazers and their hiring of a couple of assistant coaches. Loaded final hour. Don't go anywhere. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 FM The Fan.
From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, your Portland Fire were in an instant classic yesterday against the Washington Mystics, the second game in WNBA history to go 4 overtimes. Unfortunately, the Fire came up short, losing 124 to 123. Carla Late with a career-high 32 points, tying the single-game franchise record. The World Cup knockout rounds got underway yesterday in dramatic fashion. Canada scored 2 minutes into second half stoppage time to edge South Africa 1-0 and advance to the round of 16 for the first time ever. 3 more round of 32 matches today. Brazil takes on Japan at 10. Germany faces Paraguay at 1:30, and Netherlands battles Morocco at 6. To the NBA, the Hornets are trading forward Miles Bridges, a future first-round pick, a future second-round pick, to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a future first-round pick. The Clippers and Raptors are engaged in serious trade talks for all-NBA forward Kawhi Leonard. Draymond Green is declining his $27.7 million player option with the Warriors to become a free agent. This gives Golden State the flexibility to potentially pursue LeBron James in free agency and Anthony Davis via trade. And in golf, after a rain-delayed final round at the Travelers Championship, Scottie Scheffler and Victor Hovland finished tied for the lead at 21 under. Hovland won the sudden death playoff this morning. He made birdie on the first hole, while Scheffler missed a short birdie putt. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fans.
Hey, let's do this final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland sports leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Got a lot to get to in the final hour of radio on our Monday. It's another short week. We only got 4 days this week. 4th of July right around the corner.
3 straight weeks of 4-day weeks.
It's unique that way, is it not? Mm-hmm. This time of year. I'm sure a lot of people coming and going. 4th of July trips, planned. We did have a listener earlier ask the question. Let's see if I can scroll back and find it. But I think he said his daughter's getting married tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's terrified of his reaction if they... Oh, here it is. I'm 45. My daughter gets married tomorrow.
Okay.
How do I react at the wedding if Jaylen Brown to the Blazers news breaks in the middle of the festivities?
It'd be hilarious if they asked anybody object, it breaks. And
yes!
You go, yes!
We did it! What? Dad.
Sorry.
God,
I like you, David. I didn't mean that.
I was not. We just did.
We got Jaylen Brown.
We did a big deal.
It'd be great if you reacted out loud.
I said at the bare minimum, you need to go grab, because I don't know how many people have their phones. I'm sure most of the word of mouth will spread. You got to go grab if you're in the later part of the evening, you got to grab the DJ mic and let everybody know.
It'd be cool if you were the one to know and break the news.
Break the news, like, hey, breaking news via the father of the bride. The Blazers have traded for Jaylen Brown. Come on down.
And then we find out he's going to be a Clipper.
And then
that's
our dreams are dashed once again. Let's get back into
the
NBA.
Aaron Gordon's coming down.
We have a plan B. We have a plan C. Right now, our plan B appears to be Jaylen Brown. And in my face, because I remember thinking when the Giannis stuff.
Oh, I think Brown
down,
and Giannis were plan A.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I had the thought process when they didn't get Giannis, like, why is Boston wanting a bunch of draft picks and Jeremy Grant? That just didn't really. They're in win now mode, but now that we've gone down this road a little bit, they feel like maybe they can take that grouping of assets and turn it into something else. And what that player is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it seems like there's a lot of smoke. And we talked about it earlier in the show. The idea of Jaylen Brown in a Blazer uniform continues to grow. Before we get to some audio and talk about that a little bit more, let's get to the other bit of news from the weekend. And that was that the Blazers made a couple of assistant coaching hires. Now, I don't really know how to react to assistant coaching hires, because for the most part, these are guys. Now, one of them I have heard of. The other one I have not heard of. But
one's official, one's not, right?
Yes, one of them is official, one of them is not. Michael Scotto reported yesterday that the Blazers are going to add Mike Williams as an assistant under Mike Nori's staff.
He was a candidate for the head coaching gig.
He was one of their candidates for the head coaching gig. He has been an assistant for the Jazz. He's been a G League head coach. He was the director of player development and assistant in Washington in the early years under Denny Avdia, so he has familiarity there with Denny Avdia. Mm-hmm. And to your point, I think the takeaway from a lot of folks was that this was a guy who was one of the finalists for the head coaching job that you've now found a way to, according to Michael Scotto, I haven't seen it from anybody else, hire him onto your staff as one of your assistants. Now, again, how do you react to assistant coaches? I don't even know how to begin to do that. Mm-hmm. But it did seem to be, from the general response I read from the hire of, oh, that's a good little hire for them.
Well, fine. Sure. I care more about the player relationship side of that. He seems to have a good one, good reputation about it.
Yep.
I'm more interested in the other assistant rumored. I don't know if it's going to happen, but the other one is Jay Triano.
Jay Triano yesterday, according to Mark Stein, that he was on Dallas' staff last year, and he is interested in joining potentially Portland staff. He's very close with Mike Nori.
He also coached here with Terry.
Yes, he did. 2012 to 2016.
And I think the unique thing about Nori that you can point to the league and say it's kind of an era of younger coaches, and Nori is 52. I think what's also interesting is you don't have to be beholden to get a bunch of experienced assistants. Like, you can have younger, second-row bench guys with you. Now, Jay Triano's not one of those, right? But Williams was in the running for that coaching gig largely because people were saying how cheap he would cost. If you hire Lashbrook, you need to go find a couple Noris. But you hired Nori, so you don't feel like you have to go hire Jeff Van Gundy. You can hire a couple young dudes who can more understand the player side. Not that Nori will struggle with that. He's known to have player relationships. But I'm saying, like, you already kind of have the experience, maybe not from a head coaching gig, but a league experience.
28 years is a long time on a bench, man.
Here's where I'm at, man. Like, I think a lot of the cheap stuff, it's never going to go away. It's the new world we live in. And until one point, we just all universally go, yeah, he's super cheap. Oh, a cheap thing happened. No shocking development here. What I find fascinating is almost every single step of the way, I haven't liked all of the cheap narratives around Dundon, but I've been told how detrimental they are, and they haven't been.
Right.
I was told
that's the balance of this.
They wouldn't get a coach. They are only offering $1 million. They couldn't get a mid-major guy. He makes more than that at St. Louis. They got one of the more experienced assistant coaches who has been at the doorstep of coaching the Cavs and the Knicks and is highly regarded by Ann Edwards and Chris Finch. Is it a cheap contract? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Is it unprecedented?
Yep.
Sure. Can you be upset by that? If you want.
Yeah.
He took it. He agreed to it. Dundon won. I then saw, well, he's only doing this for 1 year. How are they going to have any money to hire assistants? They hired somebody they wanted for that coaching gig, and if they hire Jay Triano, that's bringing back somebody that has so much experience. So it's just like every time we hear, not that it's not going to hurt them. It will.
Right.
And there's areas that I don't like it, but every time I hear about how detrimental it is, he seems to get it worked out.
Right.
I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect. I know he's going to make mistakes. The last ownership did. It's just funny how quickly we are jumping on it, and then immediately it works out for him. You don't have to like it. You can hate it fundamentally. You don't have to root for the billionaire and everything, but everything we've been like, it's not going to work out. You're not going to get this. This isn't how the league's done. The league is upset with this guy, one, because he's cheap. The league doesn't operate on the cheap largely, and two, people tend not to like the guy that's ruffling feathers and rearranging the deck chairs from what's normal for the league. So I'm not saying, again, it's perfect.
Right.
But it was a narrative I saw was, well, how is he ever going to hire staff? He
that
can't
was one of
afford
the
it.
biggest concerns about the because the point that we tried to bring up was, why do we care what the contract he signed? He signed the contract. It doesn't bother me at all. If he wins, he's going to be kept around. That's the way that this is going to work. And if he's bad, you've been given an out if it doesn't work out for you after a year. And so that our main takeaway was, why does this matter so much? And one of the arguments was, you're not going to be able to attract assistant coaches on a coach on a one-year deal because he's a dead man walking. He doesn't have any guarantees. And I don't know I have no clue how to feel about assistant coach hires in the NBA. Most of these guys I've never heard of before. So I'm not going to sit here and give a hot take on it. I'm just going to say some of the stuff I've read on it is like, oh, dang, that was a good hire. And
no
if they
offense.
get Jay Triano, that seems like a decent hire.
Yeah.
And so they are able to put a staff together. And so, the idea, the other one was, and I just laughed at it in the moment, like the players won't play hard for him. Do you not trust the leadership in the locker room?
That's
Do you
not how
trust,
the league operates, man.
Damian Lillard is going to let the guys loaf off for a coach because he's only on a one-year contract? Like, did we have this issue with Tiago, who was replacing a coach arrested by the FBI and only making $900,000 without a guarantee past the season to be the head coach? Like, in fact, we argued that they played hard for him. Why? Because you have a good culture and you have good guys in the locker room, and that's part of what they built here that I think is to be admired. And so this idea that the team's not going to play hard or you won't be able to get assistant coaches, I just never fully bought into them, and at least on one level we're starting to see. We'll see where the rest of the staff shakes out and if they even retain guys from the previous staff, because they talked about it at the press conference that he's going through which guys he wants to keep and who he wants to go
and
hire.
I think that's a way for them to save money.
Probably.
So,
They'll buy a guy out. He's already on contract.
Again, I'm not super stoked about some of the stuff. I talked while you were out about the radio thing. Like, I don't want to see a simulcast, and I feel like that's the way it's going to go. And
yeah, we haven't had any update on that yet.
I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it because this city was fundamentally built with the guy coining Rip City being the radio guy. The radio voice matters a lot.
Yes,
and
it does.
There are elements, and that's even something I would say most people tell you, who cares? Who cares? That's fine. You don't have to care about everything. But it is interesting, like, how much all this matters, and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
So if they land Brown,
it's a decent little offseason right
they
there,
got
Bob.
one of the best assistants.
Decent little offseason.
They get a decent stat.
Dude, if you go land Jaylen Brown, I don't even really care what the rest of the moves are. This immediately becomes the best offseason of my adult life. And it's not even a debate.
Yeah,
what
would even be in the running?
Nothing. How about this? Earlier in the show, if you missed it, we had John Corrales on. He does the Locked On Celtics podcast, covers the NBA at large, but he's been a friend of the program, plugged into Boston for a long time. The idea of Donovan Clingan being involved in the trade, is that a deal breaker on Boston's side as the two teams continue? Portland, by the way, has become the odds-on favorite via some betting outlets to be the next team that Jaylen Brown plays for. Doesn't mean a lot, but I'm just mentioning it. They are now one of the favorites in the NBA. But one of the things that some believe it hinges on is the idea of, will Portland include Donovan Clingan in a trade? Here is John Corrales from earlier on our show on the idea of Clingan being the deal breaker.
I don't think that Clingan's inclusion, I don't think that's going to be the thing that derails this whole thing. But the Celtics are going to push hard for it. I think, from a personal level, I would love to get Tamani Kamara out of it. And if it's an either or, it might just be pick one of those two guys, and the Celtics will be happy to get one of those two, and then Jeremy Grant or whatever filler you can get from there. And it just depends on the package of picks versus the types of players. Fewer picks, better players, better picks, fewer players type of thing.
Right.
As long as the money works salary wise, but I don't know that they're dying to get Donovan Clingan, but they would like to. So if it's not in this deal, they can try to find a big somewhere else, some other way. So, but yeah, that is definitely one of the names that keeps coming up.
So I'm going to put up our poll question of the day, and we'll update these responses at the end. Your neighborhood restaurant group poll question of the day. If you had to include one to get the deal done for Jaylen Brown, who would you want the Blazers to include? Donovan Clingan or Tamani Kamara?
And I think a lot of Blazer fans...
Should I put a neither option in there just to see what percentage we'll say?
Say neither, back out.
Neither, back out of the deal?
Those should be the options because I'd love to be wrong on this. If Boston only wants Jeremy Grant to flip him and then Shaden Sharp...
With 4 first-round picks.
With 4 firsts.
Yeah.
You've won the trade. Like, you have done it. Like, some people don't think you should do it because it costs so much money. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I don't even want to give those people time.
Yeah, so
they don't deserve it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And you can have that opinion. If you come away keeping Donovan and Tamani and adding Jaylen Brown with Denny Avdia, Drew Holiday, Dame Lillard, I just... You are stoked. You want to talk about buzz for a team. Even last year was a fun season. That attendance wasn't amazing. And so, I think the city is looking for something to rally around, to want to be there for night one.
Yeah.
Nice little step for them last year. Cool. You made the playoffs again. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them make the move. If you could get away with it with not trading either of those, you're feeling great about it.
It's a dream scenario of the offseason, dude. I also we'll get in a little bit more to it on the business side tomorrow. We'll have somebody come on and kind of explain where the arena deal process is at. I actually wrote a letter to my city council member this weekend.
Did you really?
I did, dude. How
long was it?
Not that long. I'm not going to get, I don't know how much they're actually going to read of it. I have not heard back yet. But it's just I'm just trying to make myself involved in the process of this, and I want us to be a show that's involved in it because I still believe in the idea that there's a break glass in case of an emergency and the NBA doesn't want a team to move, whether the city council gets out of their own way or not. Mm-hmm. I just we should all be speaking as publicly and as loudly as we possibly can be and not let those who are so tied into the political process and outraged by everything and focusing on the wrong issues kind of hijack this entire conversation. But the reason I bring that up is to kind of further your point, and that is, dude, I don't know if it means anything. It might have a 0% increase on the chances of a city council package passing. Jaylen Brown getting traded to Portland would be the most noteworthy offseason thing in my entire life. Scottie Pippen was a very big deal. He was older at this point. He was never the best player on his team. He was never the finals MVP. It was a massive deal. I'm not trying to downplay it. Jaylen Brown, to me, is just in a little bit of a different category. And just what does that do for the fever of basketball in this city? Of having a guy of that caliber. Let's say they get off to a great start next year, and Jaylen Brown is playing the way that he did at the end of last season and averaging 28 a game, and Dame looks like he's 88% of what he was prior to the Achilles, right? Of just what it does to the buzz in this city and the momentum that then can create from a political standpoint of dude, this thing's humming. Are we really going to risk losing this? Now, if it backfires or you don't, make a move and it's the same team and it's kind of, dead on arrival at the start of next season because there's just not a lot of anticipation with the same roster, I don't think there's any impact. And again, I'm not saying that's the end-all be-all of passing the funding bill, but I'm also allowing there to be the opportunity that there's a small percentage chance of Blazer fever comes back. We felt it in the playoffs, dude. We lost in 5 games. We had double-digit leads in multiple games. But what did it feel like that Thursday, Friday going into those home playoff games that weekend?
Especially with the stealing of
right?
a game
steal
1.
game 2, and
Wembanyama's
going to be out game 3. And dude, we got there was momentum, and the weather's nice. And it was dude, it's nice to have meaningful basketball back in this city.
Yep.
Didn't last very long, but we got a small taste of it there. I think Jaylen Brown does that through the entire offseason. Who would your vote be on? By the way, poll question is up. If you had to include one to get the deal done, Clingan, Kamara, or neither back out of the deal?
Oh, Tamani.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, you want neither.
That is the ideal situation.
If you said
if they said we're only going to do this if you include one or the other.
Yeah, I'm not choosing neither. I'm choosing Tamani.
Is it because of
It's a 3-level score. I don't need to explain why I'd rather have Jaylen Brown than Tamani Kamara.
That's
I love
not
Tamani
the debate.
Kamara.
What's the argument for Clingan in your mind over Kamara? Because that's the
he's
argument
7'2", and he's 22 years old, and
Yeah.
he's a great presence down low defensively.
Yeah.
And the idea that he can up his 3-point averages per game with a percentage increase, it's great. It's exactly what you need in the league. I will not deny that. It's an all-NBA guy. He's second all-NBA. He's a finals MVP. I don't know what we're doing here. We're overthinking this.
Yeah, we always do.
We beg for this. We begged for this in Dame's prime. Once LaMarcus left, this is all we wanted was a shot.
Get a piece.
And they never tried. And now we're in the conversation. Denver getting him would be devastating. The Clippers getting him would be devastating. because you're looking at one team that you finished above, and you're looking at another team that is better than you, but they didn't get any further in the playoffs than you, but they have a better overall player than you do on your roster.
Right. Minnesota's got assets. Maybe they're in the mix here.
I think they're out of it. They missed the window on that. But, like, if he goes east, he stays east, then fine. Good Detroit, Charlotte, whatever. If he goes to Denver, I'm devastated. And it's not to say you can't go get a Trey Murphy and be fine. I just view that as a huge move. So I'm not going to overthink the room on this. It's pretty obvious why I would want Jaylen Brown over Tamani Kamara. I don't even know why I'm talking about that.
I mean, that's not
what
even
is Tamani Kamara, 25?
Tamani Kamara is 26, I believe. 26.
He's 26.
He's 3 years younger than Jaylen Brown.
He is what he is, dude. He's not going to come in and suddenly be a 29
He's only been in the
guy.
league for 3 years because he was such a long-term college guy.
He's old.
No, I know. I'm just saying because some people will say he's only been in the league for 3 years. It's because he played a long time in college hoops.
Jaylen Brown, great two-way player. Jaylen Brown scored all three levels of the game. Jaylen Brown, shot creator. Like,
sure.
What does Jaylen Brown do for Denny? I don't know how they coexist right away. But once they figure it out, like, I think that helps Denny Avdia. Do you?
Right.
Tamani Kamara just stands in the corner. So I don't know what we're doing here.
The idea of the starting lineup, too, let's go ahead and put the cart in front of the horse quickly before we go, because why not?
Sure.
And assume Klingon is the one that's in the, let's just play that game out. Klingon's the one that they want the most. That's what it takes to get the deal done. Okay, fine, let's get the deal done.
Mm-hmm.
Would your starting lineup next year, obviously you would have to go, maybe it's Robert Williams, he might be going elsewhere. You'd have to go find a center, unless, Chinese Jokic is ready to go. Would your first four of the starting lineup be Dame, Drew, Tamani, like that's a weird...
Well, we don't know what they're doing to center. If they sign Rob Will to the mid-level, it's Rob Will.
Who would come off the bench in this scenario? Dame, Drew, Tamani, Denny, and Jaylen Brown. We know, obviously, Denny's not. Jaylen Brown's not. Joe would be Drew Holiday. So your backup starting backcourt would be Dame and Tamani? Or Dame and Denny? That's just an interesting lineup to think about.
Oh, then it'd probably be Tamani.
Tamani coming off the bench?
I mean, it depends on what...
I mean, I don't get it's a good problem to have, right? I just was thinking about that this weekend of, like, if Klingon is the one...
I'm more curious about what your finishing lineup is. What's your closing lineup?
And who your starting center would be.
Right.
You'd have to go find that.
That could be very day-to-day. I was in downtown this weekend, and the city needs the win.
Yes, desperately.
I had heard yesterday that people around the organization think the funding is going to pass. So internally, I think they're feeling good. They're not going to give that hand away. We will talk with somebody about it tomorrow. The amount of lease signs in downtown Portland, it's really sad for me as somebody that's lived here my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it's just terrible to see. So I think the city needs to stop getting in its own way. I would love this for the city, for the fan base. And I'm thinking about doing something tomorrow after the show where I literally walk around downtown and find people I don't think are Blazer fans and ask them how they feel about it. I want to get the other side.
Yeah. Why is the answer no for you?
Or just see maybe there's more people out there roaming the streets of Portland at 10:30 a.m. They're like, heck yeah, dude, we haven't renovated before. Let's renovate it.
The last thing on this, and we'll go. I didn't mean to turn this into an economic conversation. We'll certainly get into that a little bit more tomorrow.
They clearly need to change something.
Yes. Do you know how much money we put in terms of tax dollars into the Memorial Coliseum?
Is it 60?
$60 million. Did you ever hear a peep about that?
Not a word.
Controversy. Why are we doing this?
Well, that's a memorial.
This is the funny thing about politics of this. Well, now we have this Texas Dundon billionaire. We can't give it. I don't think the owner of the Winterhawks is a billionaire. I know him well, Michael Kramer. I don't know if he's a billionaire or not. He's just a high millionaire, so that's okay. We can give him the money.
Didn't we renovate
$60
Providence?
million. We gave money for Providence. I think Paulson paid for some of it, but that was a split funding thing, so I don't remember either of those being an issue, but this one, yeah, by all means. Biggest show in town. Let's let them walk. More on that tomorrow. Let's get more into the NBA, including what does this move mean for this team next on The Fan.
FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Update Edition. Deeper dive on this Portland Fire losing in 4 overtimes to the Mystics yesterday, 124-123.
What a game.
It was crazy.
So good.
So again, second game in WNBA history to go 4 overtimes. Previous game was in 2001. The final score of that game, 72-69.
What?
So literally over 100 points more than that game.
What?
In 4 overtimes. The game took 3 hours and 35 minutes in real time, so that's nearly an hour and a half more than the average WNBA game. And the Fire had franchise highs in points, field goals made, field goal attempts, and assists. There were 8 players combined in the game for both teams that played over 45 minutes.
I hated the foul out late for them with Carlton, and late was unbelievable. She played with 5 fouls, by the way. Missed the game-winning shot from 3 feet. She was exceptional, including the game-tying shot to go to the first overtime.
That was insane. Yeah.
Devastating for my daughter. She could not handle the anxiety of a 4-overtime Fire game. Good news in the environment landscape. The government of the French Polynesia announced it's expanding the extent of ocean where industries like seabed mining and industrial fishing will no longer be allowed. With this move, 30% of French Polynesia's waters will now be fully protected.
Look at that. Nice. That's good news. How about this? I don't even know how they track this, but they have the ability to do so. Now, this was as of 3 days ago, so I don't know how many more in total happened over the weekend. But as of Friday, there had been 48 World Cup games played to that point. According to tracking data, they have found out that 9,722 people had watched every single World Cup game.
Wow.
9,722 made it 48 of 48, and now people are tracking how many will be able to run the table throughout the entire World Cup.
Dude,
impressive.
Some Argentina stuff was awesome this weekend.
Every game, dude. That's wild.
Yeah. That's the update from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the
A little Alan Stone on a Monday doesn't hurt you. Welcome back in. We're almost done here on our Monday. Lots still to get to. No Jaylen Brown trade yet. I'm refreshing every 30 seconds for you, I promise. So if it happens, I'm ready.
I'll tell you what I miss.
What'd you miss?
I kind of miss seeing a baseball diamond on a football field.
You miss the look of Candlestick or Oakland or Miami.
I hated when my team played on it because the Niners would play on it usually at Candlestick.
Who else are we missing? Who else did? I know Miami did before they built the new Marlin Park.
Yeah, you had Miami, San Francisco,
Oakland. Those ones I remember vividly. Are there any others that we're missing?
Minnesota shared it, but it was a turf. Trying to think of another one. Chicago never. Well, Chicago might have done
Minnesota's a good one, yeah. But
did
they have dirt in the infield, though? Because I don't think they had dirt, but did they cover it?
But not for the football games.
No, I couldn't remember if they just left a little dirt around second base out there.
I'm trying to think of another one. Those are the 3 that really stand out the most.
Running on dirt, it was a
Seattle and the Seahawks, or the Mariners and Seahawks shared the Kingdome years ago, right?
But they did.
Yeah, terrible. I don't actually want it back, but seeing Otson with still the diamond on the field is funny. Like watching Jerry Rice catch a pass past second base and streak up always used to be so bizarre.
Running horizontal through the dirt on the infield.
He's getting tackled at shortstop position. Like, what are we doing?
You got grass stains, now you got dirt stains on your jersey. Certainly unique look. We have our poll question of the day up. You can go vote at Dirt and Sprague on Twitter. We'll give you the responses here at the end. Neighborhood Restaurant Group poll question of the day. If you had to include one to get the deal done for Jaylen Brown, who would you include? Donovan McClingan, Tabani Kamara, or neither? I'd back out of the trade. If you're answering the third option, look in a mirror and ask yourself why you are the way you are.
I'll read one of those tweets. I'd rather kill myself. What an effing dumb franchise to even entertain dog S like Jaylen Brown for all your assets.
Yeah. I mean, why? Why would you do that when you could be the 7th seed and win one playoff game and lose in the first round?
Also, somebody asked earlier, like, if we don't win the title in 2 years, don't do it. I said, why 2 years? And they said, well, if you get Jaylen, you can't sign Denny.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what their response was.
If you got a player under contract, you are able to sign them and go over the cap. Are we aware of that? This thing called bird rights, that's the whole point of having the control over the player's contract. You're able to sign them to kind of no matter what you want. You can't sign a free agent and go over the cap, but if they're your guy, you can do whatever you want.
Trey Murphy, are you ready for the pivot?
Come on down. Speaking of pivots, one team is heading for an interesting offseason, and it got a little more interesting today. And that is the geriatric, is that the right word? Golden State Warriors. The old Warriors. Here they come on down.
Yeah.
Today, Draymond Green, who had a player option for somewhere in the neighborhood of $27 million, has opted out of that player option and will instead become a free agent. Everybody's Windhorse fingers go up, and we say, now why would he do that? And the reason he would do that is because the Warriors are trying to bring in other big names, right? They've been linked to LeBron James in the offseason, some other potential big-name targets. And the reporting on it today is not only do they like LeBron James, they're also kicking the tires on Anthony Davis. And at which point Draymond Green would be willing, rightfully so, to come back and sign on a cheaper contract because he's not worth $27 million a year anymore. And he would sign at whatever deal he could to fit into the Steph Curry, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green foursome. Dare I say the expendables on an NBA floor. Now I kind of hope it happens.
Curry's going to be 39.
39. LeBron would be
LeBron's
42
in December.
Okay. Anthony Davis is 33.
Al Horford opted in. He's 40.
Oh, I forgot about Al Horford down there.
And Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. Look, this is
this needs
how
to
do
happen.
we get to the 8 seed?
I want this to happen.
And then just try to be as healthy as we can and give the Spurs as much trouble as we can give them.
How much load managing is that team doing next year if they're together?
Why? Why?
I mean,
what are you going to do here?
Yeah, I mean, the follow-up would be why not?
You're not.
What else are you doing?
Well, for Golden State, it's why not. They've been kicking the tires on the rebuild.
They're an 8 seed. They're
era.
not good enough. They're not bad enough. You got 2 more years, maybe 3 of Curry, and then he's going to retire the greatest Warrior of all time. Like, what the hell, dude?
Well, Braun's
to your
retirement
point,
tour is going to be in a Warrior uniform?
I mean, it would be weird. I grant you that. I also, if I'm a Warrior fan at this point, I'm kind of this way with the Giants because I don't like complaining about them too much after they won 3 titles in 5 years. Like, that's a run of fandom that I will probably never experience again for any of my teams, and I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So it's like, part of me at this point, I'm like, I mean, they suck. I don't like complaining about it too much because, again, they gave me 5 glorious years. If I'm a Warrior fan, I hope this happens. What the hell, dude? You got 3 years left of Curry. He's not wearing another uniform.
You've had. Yeah.
Like, this is better. Jimmy Butler, he's like, whatever.
I'm all in if I'm a Warrior fan, too.
Give me LeBron for a
else.
year wearing my jersey. Yeah. Anthony Davis, if he stays healthy, we know how good he could be. What? You're not going to do anything, but you're not doing anything regardless.
Trey Murphy is not going to up anything other than his age and his contract stuff, and you're not getting Jaylen Brown. So if you don't have literally any option, yeah. LeBron hasn't talked to the Lakers. They've tried to schedule like 3 meetings. He's not even responded to them.
What's going on there? Is that just LeBron being LeBron?
The Genie Bus story last year that came out kind of at the end where it was basically like against LeBron was pretty terrible.
They kind of took a dump all over him.
Pelinka, him have a weird relationship. I just think the franchise, once they pivoted to Luka, they made it abundantly clear you're not a priority. And I don't blame them for that. It's Luka Doncic, right? But
yeah,
I think there's kind of hurt feelings because say whatever you want to say about the bubble ring. What were the Lakers before LeBron?
They were Kobe being 40 years old and scoring 80 points in a game, but winning 12 games on the season.
But also it was post-Kobe. It was LaMelo.
Yeah.
It was
LaMelo.
not LaMelo. Lonzo, Julius Randle, Ingram.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram.
They were garbage-ass Lakers.
Yeah.
And say what you want again. First year they sucked. He got injured, by the way. Second year, boom. Took off. You win the title. You're in the conference finals. He's made them relevant and worth watching. And he doesn't feel like they've respected him enough, so he's going to take his ball. He's going to go to Golden State and try to finish one more year out and play with Steph Curry and give us an Olympic throwback where there's going to be a lot of fun nights.
There will be a lot of fun nights, dude. Yeah.
And he'll have like 13 assists, and like 12 of the 13 are Curry threes. And we're like, oh, my God, this is awesome. But this stands no chance of ever doing anything real in the NBA
That's
playoffs.
what people told Rocky in Rocky 5, okay? Or Rocky Balboa when he came out and fought the fighter in the prime of his career. Never say never. Sprague.
Now, if you were to pivot, would you rather pivot into 1 year of LeBron or Aaron Gordon?
LeBron.
Yeah. Same.
LeBron, without a doubt.
Same.
Aaron Gordon's a better player at this point of his career. Sure, he's younger. I get
Is
it.
he?
I mean,
Hold on.
Probably.
Is he?
Probably.
Go look up Aaron Gordon's numbers and LeBron's numbers, and you tell me who you think was better. Who won the first round of the NBA playoffs?
Well, if we're going to play that game.
Well, one was healthy playing and led his team to a first-round win.
That's a big concern.
At 40-1.
That's true. This is fair.
LeBron is better than Aaron Gordon.
Yes, but it's the idea of it being 1 year, and Aaron Gordon, you would conceivably get more than 1 year.
Sure.
Conceivably.
But how many full seasons of playing am I going to get out of Aaron Gordon versus LeBron?
Again, back to the point, I would take LeBron. Give me LeBron. LeBron wearing a Blazer uniform would be badass, and I'm all for it. If you want to pivot to LeBron James, by all means, LeBron James, bring him on down.
Him doing the retirement tour in a Blazer uniform is the funniest, greatest thing to ever happen.
Nike's paid you a lot of money, LeBron. Let's pay it back to the Portland Beaverton area, okay?
Help the community.
Pay it forward, damn it. Do we think Kawhi Leonard gets traded this offseason?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Is that like a done deal in your mind? It's going to happen?
Yeah.
Seems like they're flirting with
if
it.
he didn't go to Toronto.
You would be surprised if he didn't go to Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Dallas is sneaking in this because of Masai and the relationship. Yeah. I love that fit, by the way. It seems like they're trying to get this Toronto deal done. He's willing to sign in Toronto, and we know the Clippers are going to get hammered. The Clippers will then get some cap relief, and then they'll also get draft stuff, and they'll be able to kind of slow restart. What's interesting is, do they take what they get and
turn
then
it into
put
something
Boston
else?
into it, and then flip it and get Brown? Because they reportedly love Jaylen Brown too.
Let's get this move done before they even have the opportunity to do that.
I know Brown is a debatable character right now in Portland with a lot of people on the internet. Some are 13 years old and others are 45. But I'll say this. If he goes to the Clippers or Denver, I'm heartbroken.
That sucks.
That hurts.
Giannis at least went to Miami.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about him.
Whatever, dude. We'll see you twice a year, and good luck in the Eastern Conference playoffs. But if you come to the West, it's only going to make the road a little bit harder. Last one for us will include some fun with audio, get you set for your day in sports as the World Cup continues. A game about to begin. Brazil and Japan, round of 32, right around the corner. So some final thoughts, some fun with audio. Close it up next on The Fan. Well, we'll get to some fun with audio in a moment. How do you feel about your countrymen taking on Brazil? Japan versus Brazil in the knockout round.
First of all, the knockout round delivered yesterday. Canada-South Africa was
great game.
Effing awesome.
How did South Africa get to the round of 32?
I think 9 of the 10 African nations got to the knockout round. Am I right on? I'm right on that, right?
The 2 other times I saw South Africa play, the only takeaway I had was they are terrible.
Really?
They were not very good.
Quick.
I mean,
pretty athletic.
I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about it. It was a great game. I just was watching like, man, South Africa got here. Huh?
They had a couple shots there at the end. It was far-fetched, but they put a couple balls near the goal and gave themselves a shot, and then ultimately they got to stop and kick the ball down, and it ended. Getting a goal in stoppage time is tremendous. That was a great start to the knockout round. We got one about to start here at the top of the hour.
Yes, Japan versus Brazil, 14 minutes from now.
I don't believe Japan will beat Brazil, but it'd be awesome if my countrymen did it.
That'd be pretty badass. It'd be a pretty sizable upset, I would imagine, right? What are the odds on this one? Should we put a bet on Japan together?
What, did you see Portnoy bet South Africa? And I was like, you're an idiot.
Now we're at this stage. I also have to remember that we do this stupid, like you could bet on a team, but not win your bet if they don't win.
If they don't, yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, soccer.
It's so stupid.
Well, did you watch Did you watch Saturday? We had the England match. We had Portugal. We had Messi.
I did not see a ton of Saturdays. No, we were out and about Saturday.
I had great timing. I caught Argentina about 10, 12 minutes before Messi's goal. I just turned it on. They were playing Jordan. And they were up 2-1. They get a penalty kick. He's super far away. They've got a wall. All he can kick is left. All he can do is kick left, and this happens.
So what can Messi do this time? Hits it low! Hits it in! It's Messi! It's magical! It's another
buried
record! He's scored in 7 successive World Cup Finals games! Is there nothing this magical man can't do?
And it's created big GOAT debates. I'm arguing with my niece about who is the GOAT. Is it Ronaldo? Is it Messi? I'm like, Mbappe just sitting there barely behind Messi in World Cup goals. He's
might
really
win
young.
it all this year. You never know.
France might win it. That goal was unbelievable. I also was wondering if the Jordan goalie was in on a bet. Is he pulling an Ed Davis? Because the ball literally rolled past him, and he's still standing.
Just right there, not moving.
No dive.
What are we doing?
No, it's like he wanted to have Messi score a goal to watch Messi score a goal.
You want to tell your grandkids you gave up a goal to Messi in the World Cup?
I don't know if that's something you want to tell your... Don't you want to block a Messi goal?
I mean, I'm sure you want to block one, but yeah, when he scores a goal, that's a highlight that lives on forever, and now I'm in that highlight. Might not be moving fast after the ball.
You want to be the pitcher that gives up the Bonds home run?
I wouldn't have any issue with it. You brought it up. Who gave up the home run? You can't remember it, but that guy can.
No, I don't remember it.
He's a part of history forever.
You're not wrong.
I just put a Japan, Paraguay, and Netherlands parlay together.
Okay.
Why? I don't know, but
is it money line?
All money line regulation.
Okay, and what is it?
Plus 27.50.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to hit, but why not?
Probably not, no.
$2 pays $57.
Are we feeling good about our knockout round?
I live dangerously.
Bosnia, we feeling good about that?
I think we feel good about Wednesday. The schedule after Wednesday, now again, you can't name his face his opponent, right? You got to bring it every round.
Sure.
We can't look past Bosnia on Wednesday.
Okay.
The potential further down the road matchups did appear to get a lot harder based on what's happened over the last handful of days. Because there was a moment when somebody put out this is the potential matchups, and every single one I'm like, wait, that's who we would play in this 16 or the round of 8 or whatever quarterfinals. And now it's not. I think if we beat Bosnia, we play Spain if they advance, if I'm not wrong.
No, Spain would be the quarterfinals. We're looking at, I think Belgium is probably a potential round of 16.
It's a tricky opponent.
Spain or Portugal.
Terrified of Brussels.
After that.
I'm a little nervous right there.
Did you see the fans, by the way, of Argentina, what they did at the match?
No.
An Argentina fan lost his wallet. Was freaking out.
I'd imagine so.
Somebody found it, and on the concourse, they started chanting the guy's name.
What?
And he heard his name.
Daddy.
Yeah, went to the group, and they gave him the wallet back.
That is so badass.
It was hundreds of Argentinian fans just chanting the guy's name from his wallet to give him the wallet back.
That's cool. Continues today, Japan versus Brazil, just about to get underway. I think that one's in Houston, if I'm not wrong.
I think you have that right.
Jameis Winston was just on my TV behind you, yelling, getting the crowd all riled up, so he's having a blast.
And if there was any takeaway from the World Cup, aside from knockout round stuff with Canada getting it going, boy, a lot of people. Welcome to the VAR offsides situation.
Yeah.
Welcome to soccer. Some of those, by the way,
None
I
of them
didn't
make
think were
sense.
controversial.
None of them make sense.
What do you mean?
I'm just watching them. I'm like, how? That's offsides, but that's not offsides? Every time I feel like they do one, I feel like I'm disagreeing with the ruling. And I also feel like it's absolutely rigged. The one that got overturned in the Iran game was absolutely rigged.
The Iran one was a toe.
There is no doubt that was not offside.
You know somebody was like, not in this country.
Then we
no way.
Did you see, by the way, what Uruguay had to do? Uruguay? So they lost their World Cup
run. Is that the investigation one?
No, this one, they had a chartered flight after their game scheduled for the entire team, and then they told them the charter flight was canceled, and they all had to fly coach.
Well,
you disappointed our country. Fly home on your own.
That's pretty terrible. Look,
what?
Offsides and VAR. When I watched the Premier League this year, I had moments where I'm like, that's clearly offsides. And my team would score a goal, and they'd rule it fine. And then my team would not be offsides. They'd rule it off. I get it. Some of those, though, people were losing their minds. There was like a clear almost half leg, and I'm like, yeah.
It's all
a toe is you're messing with the technology if you're telling me there's a toe.
I think it's whoever's slipping enough 20s to the replay guy.
That
looks like it's good. A lot of kids have had this thought. Now, it was a bad team weekend from one of these teams, but we all know, much like my baseball team this year, the New York Mets have been an epic disaster. Just horrible. Came in with a lot of optimism. Juan Soto, here we go. They are currently 35-49. They are 15 games behind your Atlanta Braves.
Fired manager bump, though.
15 games. There you go. Over the weekend, a video went viral of a young Mets fan in New York who says, you know what? I've had enough.
Why? Why can't you be a Mets fan?
Because I don't want to be the worst.
We're Mets fans in this house.
Well, I don't want to be the worst team.
So which team do you want to root for?
Yankees.
Oh, is that Sukanik? Was that Sukanik?
Oh, I just thought of how do you handle this?
I don't know why I'm talking. My team's all 12-16. We're singing.
You guys have won a World Series this century and still in
Well.
first place technically, so I'll give it to you. And the Mets are in last place.
The Mets are the one example of spending money being a bad idea.
What's the toughest local example of this? Would it be a Beaver parent with a young kid saying they want to be a Duck fan? Is that it? Because that would burn. Blazer fan. What would be the hardest as a diehard Blazer fan and your kid saying Laker fan? I don't want to be a fan of the Blazers. Teddy says that to me. I'm going to make him sleep in the garage for a week.
Yours is the Huskies. If Teddy
without
becomes
a
a
doubt,
Husky
dude.
fan,
If the Huskies,
they have a really fun quarterback and you have a standard quarterback.
Dad, I like Damon Williams. No, you don't.
Not in this house.
We don't bark around here.
You know that's just going to make him want to do it more, right?
Exactly. That's the fear here. You almost have to embrace it and let him become it.
Pretty offended by your opening question of what fan base is it? That's pretty offensive.
I mean, it's
like a Duck baseball fan pivoting to Beaver baseball. That even doesn't hold water right now because you just beat us this year. That sucks.
We did. We made it further than you
Damn
this
it!
year. Yeah, I don't know if you're aware of that.
I don't have a good one.
Could do basketball. We both sucked there.
Mine would be a kid jumping from the Niners to the Seahawks. That
Niners. What would hurt you more? Your kid becoming a Seahawk fan or a Cowboy fan?
Oh, it's Cowboys.
Still Cowboys, right?
Yeah, I have a brother that's a Cowboy fan. That's already been hard enough.
Yeah, that's
it's
enough
strained
for you.
our relationship, I think, at times in conversation of what Dak Prescott is or is not. I mean, my mom kind of did this to me. Growing up, my mom knew how obsessed I was. I would watch every Niner game I could. And she randomly goes, "Oh, I got a favorite football team." And I'm like, "Who's that?
Who is it?
I've never seen you watch football." And she's like, "Washington." And I was like, "Why?"
Why?
And she never gave me a reason.
She just wanted to root for another
Years
team.
later, she gets remarried. Guess who the guy likes? Seahawks. Guess who now has Seahawk gear all over the house, even though she's divorced?
Let's go 12s.
Did you see the Seahawks, Brandon? Won the Super Bowl.
I'm aware of that, Mom.
You didn't watch the game.
Thank you.
Shut up.
You don't get to claim it. You didn't watch.
You old bag.
Your neighborhood restaurant group brings you the fan poll question on X every day. Dinner tonight at one of their 5 locations: San Diego's Big's Chicken, Reverend's Barbecue, 808 Hawaiian, and Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse. Your question today, ladies and gentlemen, if you had to include one to get the deal done for Jaylen Brown, who would you include? Donovan Clingan, Tamani Kamara, or neither? I'd back out of the trade. Overwhelmingly, number one.
Tamani
Kamara, 62.8%. Number 2 answer on this list, backing out of the trade at 20.6%.
That's Portland, baby.
And only 16% of you are willing to part with the center we couldn't play in the playoffs, Donovan Clingan. There you go. Good little show.
We got Ed Davis arrested today.
Ed Davis got arrested today. That one hurts, man. Ed Davis is a real deal. Tomorrow, John Isaacs is going to join the show. He was in the Portland Metro Chamber of Commerce to explain the stadium deal and what's going into it and their side of it and all that. That will be, what did I say, at 8:45, I think he's having on?
8:45 is what you told me.
8:45, and then we'll have the mail sack as well. That will do it for us. If you missed any of the show, go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com, at Dirt and Sprague and at 1051thefan on Twitter. Enjoy all the footy today. Hopefully a Jaylen Brown to Portland trade, and we will talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Firm of Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 1051 FM The Fan.